Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Ninja World. Start with a shock fruit, save Tsunade from War Demigod. Chapter 61. Conan, Nagato. In a cave in the land of rain, 20 or so people in black robes were gathered around a bonfire, discussing something intensely. At this moment, a young man with orange hair, also wearing a black robe, ran in a hurry, his face full of joy. Yahiko, you are Akatsuki's leader, aren't you? It's been said that there is a meeting today, but your leader isn't here. What are you doing? Conan, with short hair and a more delicate appearance, looked at the rushing in. Yahiko, with a look of displeasure on his face. Just a few months ago, after she and Nagato listened to what Yahiko had to say, the three of them formed Akatsuki together, and at the same time, in the land of rain, they were looking for like-minded partners to fight for peace together. However, this guy Yahiko, sometimes, is really unreliable. The organization is proposed by him, but the establishment of the organization, the development of the organization, and some other miscellaneous things are all done by her and Nagato. Yahiko, who was still full of joy, looked at Conan's small face full of displeasure. The smile on his face froze, and he scratched his head a little embarrassedly. I found a good one a few days ago. The guy, I learned of his whereabouts early this morning, and was trying to pull him to join us, so I forgot for a while that there is still a meeting today. Humph, Conan snorted in dissatisfaction when he heard Yahiko's words, but asked in a mild tone, then what's your situation now? In a hurry. When Yahiko heard Conan's question, a smile appeared on his face again. Conan, Nagato, I just got news from teacher Yi Ming. What? When Conan heard the words, he stood up directly, and then, full of joy, he asked, Yahiko, what you said is true. How is teacher Yi Ming now? Are you going back to Konoha? At this time, Nagato, who had been sitting beside Conan, also slowly raised his head and looked at Yahiko, but there was something different in his eyes. No, Yahiko also said happily at this time. Mr. Yi Ming was transferred to Sand Shinobi by Konoha. Let me tell you, now Mr. Yi Ming is called a natural disaster in the ninja world. You know where did this title come from? Yahiko looked at Conan mysteriously, and at the same time, there was a hint of pride on his face. Pride. When Conan saw that Yahiko had betrayed her, he was a little dissatisfied. Come on. As he spoke, he also clenched his fist at Yahiko. The threat is self-evident. Yahiko was stunned for a moment when he saw this, and then quickly said, Mr. Yi Ming is very good now. He has just arrived at the Sand Shinobi battlefield, and he has been the head of the medical department for a few months, saving a lot of people. Seriously wounded Konoha shinobi. And, speaking of this, Yahiko said a little frantically, the teacher actually captured one tail all by himself. That's a tailed beast. Oh my god. The most terrifying thing is that teacher Yi Ming finally launched a natural disaster. I heard that the teacher turned the sand into 2 tsunamis in the desert. Sand Shinobi's third cage actually covered Sand Shinobi's ninjas with iron sand, and although many were killed by the tsunami, many ninjas still survived, which is a little unsatisfactory. Yahiko said that it was a pity for the last time. It seems to be a pity that Yi Ming did not kill all those Sand Shinobi ninjas. Mr. Yi Ming, are you already so good? Conan's pretty face was full of shock, and then, he deeply admired Yi Ming. Wait, Chief Yahiko, you just said, that ninja world natural disaster, is your teacher. At this time, the surrounding people who joined Akatsuki's organization reacted after hearing Yahiko's words, and all of them looked at the three of Yahiko in surprise. They also joined Shao, not long ago, and the reason why they joined Shao was firstly because of the strength of the three of Yahiko, and secondly because of Yahiko's philosophy. However, none of them knew that Yahiko's teacher, since he was the famous Konoha supernova who was once in the land of rain, is now Yi Ming, a natural disaster in the ninja world. It can be said that Yi Ming's battle in Sand Shinobi, especially after the catastrophic desert tsunami triggered, his status in the ninja world is almost the same as that of the 5 major ninja villages. And for them, that's a big deal. Didn't I tell you? Looking at the shocked Shao members, Yahiko scratched his head and asked in confusion. Of course not. The dozen or so Shao members around all turned towards Kaido, and then they became excited one by one. They never imagined that the backstage of their organization, since it was so big, was actually Yiming, a natural disaster in the ninja world. Yahiko looked at the excited Shao members, then looked at Conan, who was also flushed with excitement, scratched the back of his head, and was about to say something when he saw Nagato, who had been silent, suddenly stood up, shouted loudly, "Enough, shut up all for me." Moment. Everyone closed their mouths and looked at Nagato in unison. "Nagato, who are you?" Conan was also stunned, looking at Nagato in confusion. He didn't understand. Was Nagato unhappy when he received the teacher's news? "Who?" Nagato didn't answer Conan, but looked at Yahiko seriously and said, "Yahiko, have you forgotten the original intention of Akatsuki?" "Ah, Nagato, what are you trying to say?" Yahiko also looked at Nagato with some affection. Nagato took a deep breath, then looked at everyone who looked at him in confusion, and finally looked at Yahiko. "Yahiko, when you founded Akatsuki, didn't you say that you should let everyone understand each other and let go hatred, let's create peace together?" "Yes," Yahiko nodded, still a little confused. "Then you say, Yiming launched such a natural disaster and killed so many people. Can we all understand each other and let go of hatred?" Nagato looked at Yahiko, and then at Conan, who was also a little confused. "Yiming is wrong in doing so, war will only deepen hatred, and hatred will only make war continue. So, Yahiko, Conan, I don't know why you are so happy after hearing that Yiming killed so many people. What he did is completely contrary to our philosophy, only if everyone understands each other, can the war stop continue." Quote. Whether it was Yahiko, Conan or the other members of Akatsuki, they all looked at each other when they heard Nagato's words. However, what shocked them was not the meaning of Nagato's words, but the Nagato today, which seems to be a little different. "In the past, I couldn't get a fart for a long time, but today I said a lot. Is this still Nagato?" After a while, Yahiko came back to his senses, and instead of refuting Nagato's disrespect to Yiming, he asked, "Then Nagato, do you think we will develop next?" Yahiko didn't care about the disrespect to Yiming in Nagato's words. Conan didn't care. Although she didn't make a sound, her beautiful eyes kept staring at Nagato viciously. If Conan glared at him like this before, Nagato would have softened and apologized. But today, Nagato didn't seem to see Conan, didn't pay any attention to Conan's emotions, looked directly at Yahiko and said, "What we have to do now is to continue to develop. Let more people join us, let more people agree with our philosophy, and then go to negotiate with Hanzo together. As long as Hanzo compromises, we can take the lead in bringing peace to the land of rain." Quote. Yahiko listened to Nagato's words, although he felt that something was wrong, but after thinking for a while, he nodded and said, "Okay. Just follow what you said, Nagato, and when we develop to a certain point, we will go to Hanzo to negotiate together." Nagato nodded in satisfaction, then sat down again and resumed his silent state again. And while Yahiko and other Akatsu members are discussing the next Akatsu development, even Conan, who had been watching Nagato, didn't notice it at this time, and Nagato was silent with his head down at this time. His eyes under the sea are exuding a lavender light. A natural disaster. Onogi looked at the information in his hand and was a little lost for a while. "Yes, father, in the ninja world at this time, the little devil of Konoha has been called a natural disaster." Lois looked at the short Onogi and nodded, and then continued, "Our exploration team has already gone. I have investigated the battlefield over there. Although there is a desert there. However, the natural disasters described in the information have indeed occurred. In that area, a huge sand dune has been formed, which traverses the land of rivers and the land of wind boundary." To be honest, when Huang Tu got the information in his hand, he was also shocked. If he hadn't confirmed it again and again, and sent someone to investigate that area, he would have believed invisibly that since there were some forces that inspired nature in this world. Is it possible that Konoha will make another Senju Hashirama, or Uchiha Madara? After listening to the confirmation of the Lois, Onogi couldn't help muttering to himself. He has seen the horror of Shira in the ninja world, and he naturally understands how terrifying people who reach that level are. Moreover, that Yiming is probably more evil than Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama. Because, according to the information, the natural disaster Yiming was not yet 15 years old at this time. God knows how terrifying he will be when he reaches his prime. No, The ninja world must never have that terrifying power again. Onogi thought of Yi Ming's terrifying power after he grew up, and made a secret decision. He looked at his son, who is also his Tsuchikage assistant Huang Tu, and said, "You go and arrange, I want to have an interview with Cloud Shinobi 3rd Raikage." Quote, "Ah, Dad, what are you going to talk about with that guy with strong limbs and a simple mind?" The still very young Lois asked, a little puzzled. In his opinion, Cloud Shinobi dared to sneak up on their Iwagakure, so there is nothing to talk about, just keep doing it. Seeing that the Lois hadn't moved, Dayemu stared at the burly and tall Lois and said, "Your limbs are underdeveloped. What nonsense are you talking about? Just go when you are told to go." Yes, seeing that his father was angry, Huang Tu didn't dare to ask any more questions. He quickly answered and left Tsuchikage's tent. Looking at the back of the Lois leaving, Oyemu was also a little annoyed at this time. Reckless, if it weren't for these guys, I would have hit Konoha, alas. Now there is no other way, I can only talk to those reckless men to stop the war, and Oyemu was also very helpless at this time. In fact, he didn't want to fight with those reckless men for a long time. Their Iwagakure was attacked by Cloud Shinobi, all the supplies and buildings were destroyed, and the logistics could not keep up. However, he doesn't want to fight, he can agree, everyone in Ruian village disagrees. He is still spending time with Cloud Shinobi, but he is also helpless. And Yi Ming's strong rise gave him an excuse to truce with Cloud Shinobi. And he can guarantee that Cloud Shinobi will also agree to a truce with him. Without him, Yi Ming's potential is too scary. And Konoha is the strongest shinobi village in the shinobi world. He, or Cloud Shinobi, or even everyone shinobi village, will never want to see Konoha continue to be strong. After fighting for so long, I'm afraid it will be quiet for a while, which also means that World War II is coming to an end. Backquote. Oyemu muttered to himself with some emotion, however, this short-term peace, I'm afraid it will not be maintained too long. Not to mention the right and wrong of the ninja world. After Yi Ming recovered for a period of time, in addition to going to the medical department to treat the wounded, he also went to consult Hatake Tsukumo's swordsmanship. In this way, a month has passed, and Konoha's negotiating team has finally arrived. Moreover, the one who came here to negotiate with Sand Shinobi is none other than Konoha F4, except Sarutobi Hiruzen, the 3 Hokage people, Shimura Danzo, Udatane Kaharu Mitokado Homura. Yi Ming didn't want to pay attention to the 3 Wooden Yi Tien team members, nor the content of the negotiation. He was still practicing the sword skills taught by Hatake Tsukumo. However, when the negotiation ended, Yi Ming was so angry that he wanted to kill these 3 goods on the spot. For nothing else, Mingming Konoha overwhelmed Sand Shinobi with overwhelming force. Moreover, at this time, Sand Shinobi, affected by Yi Ming's natural disaster, has completely lost his fighting spirit. It can be said that the advantage of negotiating is entirely on Konoha's side. With such an advantage, even a pig can gain a lot of benefits. However, Yi Ming never imagined that these 3 goods were not even as good as pigs. After this negotiation, Sand Shinobi ended the war that had been fought for several years and killed countless wars with several mines and an alliance with Konoha. And, more than that, what left Yi Ming speechless the most was that Sand Shinobi used Tongmeng village as an excuse to ask Konoha for one-tail Shukaku back, but Danzo and the others actually agreed. So, after this negotiation, Konoha was the victor, but after paying so much and dying so many people, in the end he only got a few ore veins and an alliance contract that could be torn up at any time, nothing else. Not to mention, also returned the one tail. This horse, is it a win or a loss? If Yi Ming hadn't read the original book, oh no, even if he had read the original book, he would have wanted to ask Danzo if these 3 guys were undercover agents sent by Sand Shinobi. However, Yi Ming had no intention of coming forward. Instead, he publicized the content of the glorious negotiation between the 3 of Danzo. After all, many people are not qualified to know about high-level negotiations. And Danzo and the others have completed such a smart and honorable task, how could he not publicize it well? What the hell is going on? Why did we win the fight, but we got all these things in a piece of paper? What are the elders, and Hokage-sama doing? My father, my sister, and my brother all died here. They paid so much for Konoha, but in the end this is the result. Woo woo, Nan Shizi, your death is not worth it, we obviously won the battle, why did the high-level people do this? For a time, the entire Konoha camp was in an uproar, because there was a tendency to mutiny at any time. After the negotiation, the Danzo trio, who were drinking tea and eating snacks, became restless after learning that the content of their negotiation was exposed. Seeing that there was a strong tendency to mutiny in the camp, they simply threw the pot on it. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was drinking tea, smoking and peeping at Konoha. For a time, all the ninjas in the entire camp were cold in their hearts, and one by one, they shouted and asked Lord Hokage to give them an explanation. However, in this way, the Danzo trio couldn't stay any longer. Although Hitaki Tsukumo and others suppressed them and did not let the ninjas in the camp mutiny, they were also afraid that these guys who were red-eyed on the battlefield would be killed for a while. Mind blowing up. There are so many ninjas, even Danzo, the Iron Boy, dare not touch his brows. So, that day, the Danzo trio hurriedly packed up and returned to Konoha. And these people, without Hokage's orders, can only continue to stay here. So, another half a month passed. It has to be said that Sarutobi Hiruzen's political Z attribute has been full deferred, and under his series of means, the dissatisfaction in the camp has been slightly suppressed. However, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not dare to let these people return to Konoha now, for fear that these people would cause trouble after returning to Konoha, so, in the name of rest, they continued to let these people stay. However, I don't know what Sarutobi Hiruzen thought, since Yi Ming was sent back to Konoha with the wounded. However, Yi Ming also had no problem with Sarutobi Hiruzen asking him to go back to Konoha. He hadn't gone back for several years, and it was time to go back. So, Yi Ming took a group of wounded and walked towards the country on fire unhurriedly. All the way without words. In the evening of this day, Yi Ming was preparing to camp with more than 300 wounded, but at this moment, a loud noise attracted everyone's attention. Everyone looked with their eyes and found that direction, since it was the direction of Konoha. At the same time, they also saw the sky, a stream of fiery red chakra, rising into the sky. That's Nine Tails. Yi Ming looked at Konoha's direction, and also looked at the rising fiery red chakra. His face changed immediately. The reason why Yi Ming's expression changed suddenly was because, according to his speculation, Kushina at this time should have become the Jinchuriki of Nine Tails. And now in the direction of Konoha village, the fiery red chakra appeared. In his perception, the evil was silent in that chakra, and tyranny. If Yi Ming's judgment is right, it's definitely chakra from Nine Tails. Don't have an accident. Kushina, if you have an accident, I will let the whole Konoha be buried with you. Thinking that Kushina might have an accident, Yi Ming rushed out and ran in the direction of Konoha at the fastest speed. Go back to half an hour ago. Konoha, Hokage office. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the back of the three Danzo leaving, and rubbed his eyebrows irritably. To be honest, the result of the negotiation between Danzo and the three also surprised him. Hokage. Didn't he promise before departure that Sand Shinobi would pay a heavy price to make up for the loss of the war? But the result, this is it. I have been fighting for so long, so many people have died, how many mines have I got, and a piece of paper? And the special code, the tailed beast caught, didn't get any benefits, so it was returned to others. This wave of operations really made Sarutobi unable to understand. However, what makes Sarutobi Hiruzen speechless and angry the most is that these three goods almost made thousands of ninja army mutiny and threw the pot on his head. Helpless, things have already happened, and it is useless to say more. Sarutobi Hiruzen can only grit his teeth to appease the army of thousands of ninjas. Alas, I'm so hard. Standing in front of the floor-to-ceiling glass, looking at Konoha village under the afterglow outside, Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed softly. To say whether he has the ability to deal with the Danzo trio, the answer is yes. However, he can't do that because he still needs the power of the Danzo trio to help him balance the ninja in Konoha village. No way, the Sarutobi clan he came from, although they are also the Konoha clan, but they can't suppress all the ninja like the Senju clan and Uchiha clan. Moreover, his arrival as Hokage is somewhat unofficial, so he must support a new force to help him balance Konoha's ninja. However, the group of elders of the Danzo trio is not only the knife in his hand, but also the stumbling block BBCI, stone that checks and balances him. Senju, Uchiha. Alas, I'm all for the sleepy leaves. Standing in front of the window, his eyes involuntarily looked at the dark and quiet Senju clan's clan, and then looked at the brightly lit Uchiha clan, and then sighed and turned around to continue dealing with government affairs. Boom. However, just as Sarutobi Hiruzen turned around, a loud noise came suddenly, and immediately, the earth began to shake. What happened? Sarutobi Hiruzen stood up and turned to look out the glass window again. I saw that at the location of the Senju clan's station, a burst of smoke rose at this time, which was the trace of the attack of a huge force. What is Tsunade doing? Looking at the situation on the Senju clan's side, Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned, because that kind of attack was definitely made by Tsunade. Speaking of Tsunade, because of Naoki's death and the decline of the Senju clan, his mentor-disciple relationship with Tsunade has almost collapsed. However, Tsunade, as first Hokage's granddaughter, is also his apprentice, and his strength is also online. For various reasons, no matter how Tsunade came around, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not touch her. However, now Tsunade is in Konoha, even in her Senju clan, is it a bit too much to make such a move? However, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't bear to think too much, and the changes he discovered next made Sarutobi Hiruzen feel dazed. Boom. While Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned, thinking about how to persuade Tsunade, a puff of white smoke suddenly rose from the center of Konoha. Seeing the rising white smoke, Sarutobi Hiruzen's pupils shrank, summoning technique. That's right, that puff of white smoke was definitely someone performing summoning technique and summoning beasts. However, there is the center of Konoha, where summoning technique is performed in the center of Konoha, who gave the dog guts to ride a horse. However, the next scene left Sarutobi Hiruzen heartbroken. Amidst the white smoke, a fiery red claw suddenly stretched out and slapped it towards a building. Boom! A loud noise rang out in all directions, and then, a giant beast with a huge body, fiery red fur, and 9 tails behind it appeared in Konoha village. Oops! It's 9 tails. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the tall beast, his face changed again, he pulled the Hokage robe on his body, put on his armor and jumped out of the window. At the same time, it was because of the victory in the war. The bustling night market street, which is also the central street of Konoha, has turned into a mess at this time. Help! Help! Who will save me? Mom! Mom! Woohoo! Where are you? Ah! Monsters! Monsters! Mexico! Mexico! Run! Run! Quick! Quick! All evacuate towards the shelter. Konoha will have such a monster attack, hurry up and inform Lord Hokage. Genin is alienated from the crowd to protect the children and retreat. All Chunin Jonin, come together, be sure to stop this monster. Yes, countless Konoha people fled in all directions, but the ninjas with Konoha quickly arrived. The Genins helped the people retreat to the shelter. The rest of the ninjas gathered to launch ninjutsu and attack the monsters that appeared in front of them. Roar! 9 tails, tens of meters tall, opened a huge mouth full of ferocious fangs, roared, and then, facing the ninjas gathered in front, raised their claws, just a shot. Boom! Under this claw, the earth shook and smoke was everywhere. Whether it was ninjutsu or people, all disappeared without a trace under this claw. Lord Hokage hasn't arrived yet. A Konoha Jonin, looking at his companion, was photographed into meat sauce under the paws of 9 tails, couldn't help but took a step back, and then, saw the people who had not completely evacuated and the crying people. Child, he gritted his teeth, his hands began to form seals, and wanted to release ninjutsu to continue attacking 9 tails. Who? At this moment, 9 tails was on all fours, staring at the Jonin with blood-red eyes, and immediately raised his paws to sweep. Ah! That Jonin was directly caught in the claws by 9 tails, and immediately, 9 tails slapped it on the ground, turning it into a pool of bloodline. Boom! 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 Roar! Ah! 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 9 tails continued to rage in Konoha village, rooms were destroyed one by one, and countless ninjas and commoners died under the claws of 9 tails. Stop me! Painful feet! Stop me! Just as 9 tails was raging, a coquettish voice came, and then, a figure descended from the sky and stepped on 9 tails' head with 1 foot. Painful feet. Boom. Immediately, 9 tails' head came into intimate contact with the ground, and countless smoke rose up. That fool has broken the seal. Tsunade stared at the front with bloodshot eyes, and when she was kicked down, his entire head sank into the 9 tails in the ground. Tsunade-sama, it's Tsunade-sama. That's great, Tsunade-sama is here, there must be no problem with this. Yes, it's saved, hurry up, speed up, evacuate the crowd. The surrounding Konoha shinobi, looking at the terrifying monster, fell to the ground under Tsunade's feet, excited one by one. Tsunade. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen also rushed over with a group of elite ninjas. He looked at the 9 tails lying on the ground, and then looked at Tsunade and asked, Tsunade, what's going on? What about the seal of the 9 tails? Will it break? You know, today's 9 tails Jinchuriki is Uzumaki Kushina. And Uzumaki Kushina has always lived in the Senju clan, and has a close relationship with Tsunade, and now 9 tails has broken the seal, and I must know why. Facing Sarutobi Hiruzen, Tsunade didn't even look at him, and kept his eyes fixed on 9 tails in front of him and said, there was a guy shrouded in black robes who suddenly attacked me and kidnapped Kushina. A guy in a black robe. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned, then continued, do you know the origin of that person? How could someone be able to kidnap Kushina in front of you? Sarutobi Hiruzen was very curious as to who could kidnap Kushina directly in front of Tsunade, who already had cage-level strength. Tsunade glanced at Sarutobi Hiruzen after hearing this, and then looked at the group of ninjas behind Sarutobi Hiruzen. I saw those ninjas, all wearing ninja vests with a pattern like a ping-pong racket, and, without exception, these people all had 10 pairs of eyes that were glowing with blood. Needless to say, these people are the #1 ninja clan in Konoha today, the Uchiha clan. Master Tsunade, do you have any orders? The leader was in his 20s, with an old-fashioned face. He was obviously the young man who was the leader of the Uchiha clan. Seeing Tsunade looking at them, he couldn't help but ask. Sarutobi Hiruzen saw that Tsunade suddenly turned his eyes to the Uchiha clan behind him, and also turned around to look at the Uchiha clan, also full of doubts. However, Tsunade did not pay attention to the old-fashioned young man, nor did he leave to answer Sarutobi Hiruzen's question, but turned his eyes to the tail again. At this time, 9 tails also pulled its head out of the ground, only to see that after shaking its head, it roared at Tsunade and the others. All alert. The roar of 9 tails seemed to form a gust of wind, and countless Konoha shinobi people raised their hands to resist this gust of wind. Look 9 tails in the eyes. And it was at this moment that Tsunade suddenly spoke up. What? Sarutobi Hiruzen and all the ninjas were stunned when they heard the words, and then, according to Tsunade's words, they all looked into 9 tails' eyes. Blood red, with a strange light, full of tyranny and evil, these are the eyes of 9 tails. Is this Sharingan? However, when Sarutobi Hiruzen looked closely at 9 tails' eyes, he suddenly exclaimed. What? Sharingan? This is impossible, how is this possible? That old-fashioned young man, when he heard Sarutobi Hiruzen's words, at first couldn't believe it, but when he saw the 3 hooks in 9 tails' blood-red eyes, his whole body seemed to be struck by lightning. It's really Sharingan, shouldn't this monster be? Is the Nakia family going to betray the village? This monster is obviously controlled by the Sharingan. Quick, surround the Uchiha clan, the Uchiha clan has betrayed the village. At this time, the countless other Konoha shinobi practitioners also saw the shape of 3 Guyu in 9 tails' strange eyes, and immediately, everyone was in a frenzy. In particular, when 9 tails just came out, the ninjas who had killed their family and friends in the tyrannical massacre even surrounded the Uchiha clan involuntarily. No, this is none of our business, this is not what we did. The leading young man was a little panicked at this time, and hurriedly thought about explaining. However, facing the iron-like facts in front of him, he didn't know how to explain it at all. Not only the young man panicked, even the ninjas of the Uchiha clan who came with the young man were a little flustered by the malicious eyes of the Konoha shinobi. Okay, at this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen scolded everyone, then slowly opened his mouth and said, now what we have to do is to reseal the 9 tails, and the rest. Let's talk about 9 tails. After that, he looked at the young man of the Uchiha clan and said, Fugaku, you Uchiha clan, please step back for now. Lord Hokage. Uchiha Fugaku's face turned pale again when he heard the words. Now let them back down. Wouldn't this make the Uchiha clan take it seriously? At the same time, it also made all Konoha's ninjas. Do you suspect that they are doing this thing? Okay, get back first. Sarutobi Hiruzen interrupted Uchiha Fugaku with a wave of his hand. Immediately afterwards, he bit his thumb, and his hands began to form imprints. Hai Shuyu Shen Wei. Come out, Ape King, Ape Demon. Summoning technique. Sarutobi Hiruzen slammed on the ground and performed summoning technique. Boom. A puff of white smoke rose, and then, a white-haired ape wearing a battle armor, 2 or 3 meters tall, with a burly body and arms folded his chest, appeared in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi, long time no see, is there another battle? Summoning beast of Sarutobi Hiruzen. The ape demon greeted Sarutobi Hiruzen. Ape demon, I don't have time to explain, I turned into a wishful good, Sarutobi Hiruzen said anxiously. Because, at this time, the Nine Tails had already started to attack them, and Tsunade and the other ninjas were struggling to cope. It is good. Ape Demon turned his head and glanced at Nine Tails, and nodded solemnly. Immediately afterwards, Ape Demon turned into an iron rod with dark red in the middle, golden yellow at both ends, and the thickness of the bowl. Snapped. Sarutobi Hiruzen danced twice with the King Kong Rui stick in his hand, and then pointed the end of the King Kong Rui stick at Nine Tails. You can't fight in the village like this, you must put the battlefield outside the village. Please, Ape Demon, stretch out, Rui is great. Whoosh. As Sarutobi Hiruzen's voice fell, he saw the Vajra Rui stick in his hand quickly stretched and stabbed toward Nine Tails. Boom. The wish-fulfilling stick stabbed directly into Nine Tails' chest, but it wasn't over yet, it was still expanding, spreading the huge Nine Tails out of the village little by little. Lord Hokage, it's Lord Hokage, it's so powerful, Lord Hokage's stick, since it's so powerful, it's still stretching, it's too fierce. Baga, don't talk nonsense if you don't understand it. It's easy to make people think about it. It's Lord Hokage's summoning beast, and the King Kong Rui stick transformed from an ape demon. Great, that monster was spread out of the village by Lord Hokage, see Gui. All the ninjas around, watching Nine Tails being held by Sarutobi Hiruzen, 427, spread out to the village little by little, and all of a sudden, they cheered one by one. Terrible, that monster is so terrifying, they have sacrificed more than 100 ninjas in such a short time. Moreover, these ninjas are also Chuninjanin. You know, so many elite ninjas can destroy a small ninja village. But these elite ninjas were like ants in front of Nine Tails. How could they be unhappy seeing that monster now, moving away from their village? Roar. However, apparently, it was too early for everyone to be happy. I saw that Nine Tails, who was being slapped by the King Kong Rui stick a little at the outside stall in Konoha village, suddenly roared loudly, and immediately raised his paw and slapped the Rui stick on its chest. Boom. A symphony of gold and iron sounded, and immediately saw that the wishful stick was slapped out of position by Nine Tails, and slammed heavily on a house, and then, the wishful bar was quickly shortened and retracted. Roar. Nine Tails let out a roar again, a pair of blood-red eyes, looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, then raised his paws and patted Sarutobi Hiruzen. Lord Hokage, be careful. Go and help Hokage-sama. Fire style, great fireball technique. Wind style, great breakthrough. Ninjutsu can't hurt him at all. The ninjas of Konoha, seeing that Nine Tails aimed their attack at Sarutobi Hiruzen, launched ninjutsu and shuriken one by one. The detonating charm needs to hold back the attack of Nine Tails. However, Nine Tails with such a huge body, being attacked by these ninjutsu, shuriken, and detonating talismans, was almost like scratching a tick, with no effect at all. Where did that guy go? On top of a house, Tsunade glanced around. She's looking for the guy who attacked her, kidnapped Kushina, and released Nine Tails. She could feel that the guy never left Konoha, he must be somewhere, looking here. Rat, if something happened to Kushina, that kid would absolutely go crazy. Tsunade frantically looked for the black-robed man. As for Nine Tails, she can hold off on that old guy for now. And as Tsunade thought, although Sarutobi Hiruzen boasted that he is the strongest Hokage, this title is a bit watery, but Sarutobi Hiruzen, who is in his prime, is still quite powerful. When Nine Tails' claws slapped towards him, he saw that he swung a stick against Nine Tails' claws. Drink. When Sarutobi Hiruzen waved the wish-fulfilling stick in his hand, the wish-fulfilling stick stretched again and became bigger, hitting the paw that Nine Tails slapped directly. Boom! The wishful stick hit Ninetales' claws, making a muffled sound, and the huge force even knocked Ninetales' entire body staggering. Aha! Seeing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen chased after the victory and raised the wish-fulfilling stick again. The whole person jumped up, like a monkey holding a stick and hitting the target with a blow to the head. Hokage-sama is amazing. Is this the strongest Hokage's strength? I'm going to blow it up. Ninetales was suppressed by Hokage-sama, and sure enough, our Hokage-sama is the strongest. Watching Ninetales being suppressed by Sarutobi Hiruzen, the surrounding ninjas exclaimed again, especially some ninjas who were brainwashed by Sarutobi Hiruzen, blowing Sarutobi Hiruzen one by one. Ninetales was obviously angry after being hit by Sarutobi Hiruzen. When it saw that Sarutobi Hiruzen actually wanted to give it a blow to the head, it suddenly roared, and the 9 tails behind it fluttered, as if turning into 9 arms, and slapped Sarutobi Hiruzen towards him. Not good. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was in midair, saw 9 tails attacking him, so he had to give up the original attack. One sideways dodged the attack of one tail, stepped on the tail casually, borrowed strength, changed direction, and then again dodged a tail attack. This is not the way to go. Sarutobi Hiruzen kept dodging 9 tails attacks, and took time to look at Oba's current situation. Seeing that 9 tails every move can bring huge losses to Konoha, Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart is twisted. I have to say that Sarutobi Hiruzen is a very contradictory existence, not to mention his merits and demerits. But it is undeniable that he really loves Konoha very much. Danzo, why haven't they shot? And Tsunade, what is she doing? Looking for that mysterious person. Since the war has just ended, Konoha's high-level combat power, such as Hitaki Tsukumo, Orochimaru, Jiraiya, and the masters of the Konoha shinobi clan all have not returned. It can be said that the current Konoha, in addition to him and Tsunade, also Danzo is the current high-level fighting force in Konoha. However, now that Tsunade is looking for that mysterious person, and Danzo has not shown up, he is dealing with 9 tails alone. To be honest, he is not Senju Hashirama, let alone controlling the seal, it is difficult to even suppress. And the most important thing is that this is Konoha, he does not dare to use the big ninjutsu, and even if he uses it, it may not have any effect. Looks like that's all it takes. After dodging a few more attacks from 9 tails, Sarutobi Hiruzen felt that his physical strength was slowly fading away, knowing that if this continued, he would be very bad. He lowered his head and looked at the wish-fulfilling stick in his hand. Ape Demon, it's up to you to control 9 tails. No problem, however, I can control it for at most half a minute. Ryubang opened one eye and mouth in response to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Half a minute is enough. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded solemnly, and then jumped to look at 9 tails again with the wish-fulfilling stick in his hand, thrown out. Ninja, adamantine sealing chains. Ninja, adamantine sealing chains. After Sarutobi Hiruzen threw out the wish-fulfilling stick in his hands formed a seal, and then he slammed together and shouted violently. Whoosh! The King Kong Rui stick swirled and flew straight towards 9 tails. When the spinning Rui stick came to the top of 9 tails' head, it instantly transformed into dozens of identical Rui sticks, and then smashed it towards 9 tails. Roar! 9 tails let out a roar, thinking about slapping those wishful sticks away. However, these wishful sticks are not directly attacking it. After these Rui sticks became bigger, they were assembled around 9 tails, and in an instant, a huge iron cage formed by the combination of Rui sticks appeared in front of everyone. And in the iron cage, 9 tails was bound by the wishful sticks, unable to move at all. Sarutobi, be quick. An eye and a mouth appeared on the huge iron cage of wishful sticks, and he said to Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was eating. It is good. Seeing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen knew that the wishful stick could not last much longer, and quickly made a seal. Shadow clone technique. Boom, 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 boom. 4 groups of white smoke burst out, and then, 4 identical Sarutobi Hiruzen, separated towards the 4 directions of the big cage. Sarutobi Hiruzen of the main body, after watching the 4 shadow clone points in 4 directions, started to seal with both hands. The other 4 shadow clones were also printed at the same time. Lord Hokage, is this what you want? Come, Hokage-sama's ninjutsu righteousness. I heard that Lord Hokage has the 5 attributes of chakra. and that the 5 escape ninjutsu has long been practiced to perfection, and is known as the professor of the ninja world. Now, Lord Hokage must be. You can't go wrong. Hokage-sama is going to use the 5 escape ninjutsu at the same time. Konoha's ninjas, after watching Sarutobi Hiruzen control Ninetales with a wish-fulfilling stick, split up several clones and began to make seals on Ninetales at the same time. All of them suddenly remembered Sarutobi Hiruzen, the title of ninjutsu professor. At the same time, all of them are looking forward to the ninjutsu that Sarutobi Hiruzen will spread out next. The old man is still very strong. Except for the second grandfather in ninjutsu, I am afraid that no one in the entire ninja world can compare with him. Tsunade in the distance, seeing the situation of Sarutobi Hiruzen, couldn't help but exclaim. At the same time, Sarutobi Hiruzen and his shadow clone finished their seals at the same time, and simultaneously launched ninjutsu against the Ninetales trapped in the iron cage. Ninja 5 escape techniques. Together with the body of Sarutobi Hiruzen, the 5 types of chakra attribute ninjutsu are emitted in unison: wind, fire, thunder, earth, and water. Swish swish swish. For a time, huge fireballs, wind balls, thunder balls, earth balls, and water balls blasted down toward the Ninetales in the iron cage. Bang! Just as the 5-done ninjutsu was about to fall, the wishful stick that bound Ninetales turned into a cloud of white smoke and returned to the summoning world. As soon as the Rui blockade disappeared, Sarutobi Hiruzen's 5 escape ninjutsu landed on Ninetales at the same time. Boom! The ninjutsu of the 5 escapes chakra attribute collided at the same time, and then, a shocking explosion sounded. Suddenly, a wave of air swept away in all directions. However, since the surrounding area has been destroyed by Ninetales, no matter how bad it is, there is nothing to destroy. And that's why Sarutobi Hiruzen now uses this type of massacre ninjutsu. Accompanied by the violent explosion, and the smoke of gunpowder rising into the sky. As the smoke slowly dissipated, Sarutobi Hiruzen stared at the center of the explosion, gasping for breath. Not only Sarutobi Hiruzen was waiting for the result, but everyone around was looking at the center of the explosion nervously. When everyone saw the wounded Ninetales lying on the ground panting, there was a moment of silence, followed by a burst of cheers. Oh, Hokage-sama won, haha. As expected of Hokage-sama. Amazing. Long live Hokage-sama. It's finally over. Hokage-sama is really amazing. Everyone cheered, because this monster that destroyed their homes and killed countless civilians, the Konoha shinobi, was finally defeated by Hokage-sama. The nightmare is coming to an end. Ah, looking at Ninetales, who was covered in blasted holes and gasping for breath in the pit, Sarutobi Hiruzen also had a smile on his face, and he shouted to the ninjas around him, "Let the sealing team prepare to seal the Ninetales." Quote. Yes, there was a coping sound from the crowd. Ninetales, just defeated like that. Tsunade looked solemnly at Ninetales, who had been blown up by Sarutobi Hiruzen's 5 escape ninjutsu, lying on the ground and stopped moving. He was puzzled. You know, these are Ninetales. Among the 9-tailed beasts, the most powerful tailed beast. Is it so easy to be subdued? Tsunade can't believe it. It's not right, it's not right. Tsunade's brows furrowed together tightly, and just as he was about to speak to keep everyone from getting close, the mutation regenerated. Whoosh! A black robe shrouded his entire body, even his head and face, when a mysterious figure was covered by the black robe's hat, abruptly appeared on Ninetales' head. At the moment when the mysterious man in black robe appeared, Ninetales, who was lying on the ground with scars and gasping for breath with his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes. Only at this time did people realize that the 3-hooked jade in Ninetales' eyes had disappeared, turning into beast-like vertical pupils. Hee hee, how long did I think you were going to pretend to be dead? The mysterious man in black robe said slowly with a low voice. How could you still? Obviously, Ninetales got rid of Sharingan's control in the explosion just now, and the reason why it has not moved, it is just pretending to kill and planning something. But the appearance of this mysterious man in black robe obviously made Ninetales unable to hold on. Beast, you don't need to talk. The mysterious man in black robe did not wait for Ninetales to finish speaking. His face covered by the black robe revealed a pair of blood-red and bewitching eyes. In these eyes, a pattern slowly emerged. At the same time, Ninetales seemed to have been immobilized by someone, and it became sluggish for a while, and then, its vertical pupils that had been restored to beast-like, slowly appeared a pattern. That's Mangekyo Sharingan. Tsunade looked at the pattern in the mysterious eyes of the black-robed mysterious man, and then looked at the pattern in the eyes of Ninetales, and suddenly exclaimed. Immediately afterwards, Tsunade's expression changed again. He seemed to have thought of something, but he was not sure. He kept shaking his head and muttering to himself, "Impossible, how is it possible, he's already dead, he can't be alive, no possible." Apparently, when Tsunade saw the pair of Mangekyo Sharingan, he thought of that person, but, isn't that person dead? Who the hell are you? Sarutobi Hiruzen also looked at the mysterious man in black robe solemnly at this time, especially when he saw the pair of Mangekyo Sharingan, his face was extremely ugly and abandoned. Hee, you don't need to know who I am, let this beast continue to dance with you. Whoosh. After all, the mysterious man in black robe instantly disappeared in front of everyone. Roar. After the mysterious man in black robe left, Ninetales roared again. Moreover, this time, Ninetales was obviously more irritable than before. I saw that Ninetales at this time seemed to be in a state of madness, and red chakras emerged from its body. These red chakra not only repaired all the wounds on its body, but also formed a red mist that began to spread around. Ah, kill, Odin, what's wrong with you? Ah, you're crazy, why are you attacking me? These chakras emanating from Ninetales carry a very strong evil spirit, which can affect people's minds. All ninjas below Jonin, leave. Quick. When some Chunin were touched by these red mists, they fell into madness one by one, and started to attack around aimlessly. Asshole. Tsunade clenched his teeth as he watched Konoha village, which had been destroyed by a quarter, and the Konoha shinobi who were killing each other. Although, at this time, she was completely disappointed with Konoha. Oh no, to be precise, she was completely disappointed with Konoha's senior management, and even had some resentment. However, this Konoha was founded by her grandfather and the entire Senju clan after all, and this is her home. Seeing that her home had become like this, how could she not be angry? I saw Tsunade bit his finger, making a few marks, and then he slammed down on the ground. Summoning technique. Boom. A plume of smoke rose, and then, a summoning beast resembling a slug appeared at Tsunade's feet. This is Tsunade's summoning beast, Katsuyu of Shitbone Forest. Master Tsunade. A gentle voice came from Katsuyu at Tsunade's feet. Katsuyu, please help Konoha's people heal. Tsunade replied politely to Katsuyu. She did not let Katsuyu deal with Ninetales with her, although Katsuyu is the clone of Katsuyu Immortal in the Three Immortal Lands, and his strength is not bad. However, the effect of its healing power is obviously more helpful than directly participating in the battle. Okay, Tsunade-sama. Boom. Crash whoa. Katsuyu responded, and then, the huge body suddenly exploded, splitting into small Katsuyu, and went towards the ninjas of Konoha. Then, now it's your turn. Watching Katsuyu split into small Katsuyu to treat Konoha's ninjas, Tsunade's eyes turned to Ninetales, who was facing Sarutobi Hiruzen, chasing after him. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen deliberately led Ninetales outside the village while avoiding the violent attack of Ninetales. Aha! Tsunade jumped into the air, came directly behind Ninetales, and while Ninetales didn't care, he kicked hard behind Ninetales. Boom! Ninetales, who was constantly chasing Sarutobi Hiruzen, suddenly received such a kick from Tsunade, staggered and fell forward. Aha! Seeing Ninetales falling to the ground, Tsunade chased after the victory, facing Ninetales' head, and was about to step on it. However, a huge tail suddenly swept over, hitting Tsunade in midair like a cannonball and flying out. Boom! Tsunade landed hard on a house, and then the whole house collapsed in an instant. Tsunade! Sarutobi Hiruzen exclaimed when he saw Tsunade being knocked into the air, then, looking at Ninetales who got up again, his hands quickly formed a seal, and then he pressed it against the ground. Earth style, earth stream. Crash whoa. The land in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen quickly turned into yellow mud, and then, a big river of mud was formed, rushing towards Ninetales. Roar! Ninetales roared and was rushed out of the village by the dirt. However, when Sarutobi Hiruzen saw this, he did not stop, and continued to seal with both hands. Earth style earth dragon technique. Whoa! A gigantic dragon head made of mud rose up from the mud river. Immediately after, the dragon head suddenly opened its huge mouth, and shot out balls of soil towards the 9 tails struggling in the mud river. Fire-style flame bomb. As the earth bombs flew towards the 9 tails, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not stop, and launched a fire-style ninjutsu again, directly acting on those earth bombs. In an instant, the original earth bombs turned into flame bombs. Boom boom boom. The intense high-temperature flame bombs slammed into 9 tails' body, and they burst open one after another like cannonballs. Roar. Being hit by the flame bullets, the 9 tails in the Tuhei suddenly roared, and immediately opened his mouth to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sections. A stream of chakra gathered in front of 9 tails' mouth, and after a short while, a small-tailed beast bomb formed, heading towards Sarutobi Hiruzen. Oops! Sarutobi Hiruzen sensed the terrifying chakra contained in the small-tailed beast bomb, and his face changed suddenly, but he couldn't retreat, because behind him was the Hokage Rock. The Hokage Rock is the refuge of Konoha, where there are countless Konoha civilians, as well as Konoha's children. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who couldn't dodge, had no choice but to take the blow from 9 tails. I saw that he formed the seal again, and then, a horizontal line was unearthed in front of him, and then, he slammed into the ground. Earth wall. Boom. A wall composed of mud rises from the ground. This earth flow wall is like a city wall, more than 30 meters high and more than 10 meters thick. And just as the earth wall rose, tailed beast bomb of 9 tails also flew over. Boom. There was another earth-shattering loud noise, and when I looked again, the earth flow wall displayed by Sarutobi Hiruzen had been blown up and disappeared. Fortunately, however, tailed beast bomb was blocked. Cough cough. Sarutobi Hiruzen rested his hands on the ground, coughing continuously, and blood spit out from his mouth. The tailed beast bomb explosion just now was blocked by the tall earth wall, but he was also injured by the aftermath of the explosion while standing behind the earth wall. Old man, are you still dead? At this time, Tsunade, who was embarrassed Nuo also came to Sarutobi Hiruzen, frowning at Sarutobi Hiruzen who was constantly coughing up blood. Cough cough. Sarutobi Hiruzen coughed up a mouthful of blood again and waved at Tsunade. It's okay. I can't die for a while, because of it. Tsunade also took Sarutobi Hiruzen's words, and he did not treat Sarutobi Hiruzen, but looked at 9 tails in front of him with a solemn face and said, "We are in big trouble this time." When Sarutobi Hiruzen heard this, he also looked at the 9 tails store. I saw 9 tails at this time, because Sarutobi Hiruzen started ninjutsu one after another and was injured again. The mud river has disappeared, it is looking up, its mouth is open, and the 9 tails behind it are standing up one by one, around a point in the mouth. Wang wang wang. A stream of blue, dark purple chakra began to gather, and then, a tailed beast bomb was suspended on the top of 9 tails' head, rapidly growing in size. Just a short moment of effort. A tailed beast bomb covering a quarter of a leaf in diameter is formed. Just kidding. Tsunade's face turned pale as he looked at the super large tailed beast bomb formed by 9 tails. This tailed beast bomb directly covers a quarter of the leaves, like a small star. If such a tailed beast bomb falls on Konoha and explodes, I am afraid the whole Konoha will be finished. Tsunade-sama, Hokage-sama, now, what should I do now? Is this the power of the strongest tailed beast? Just kidding. This is a natural disaster. Mew. Konoha is finished. At this time, the Jonins of Konoha also came to Sarutobi Hiruzen, beside Tsunade, and looked at the tailed beast bomb like a small star. Even those Jonin, the elite of Konoha's elite, were a little terrified at this time. Don't panic. Sarutobi Hiruzen stood up, facing all Konoha Jonin, and said firmly, everyone has seen that now is the time of Konoha's life and death. We must unite and resist the attack of 9 tails, otherwise. Sarutobi Hiruzen pointed in the direction of Hokage Rock and continued, our relatives and friends are all there. If we can't resist, Konoha will be finished, and everyone will be finished. Following Sarutobi Hiruzen's words, the Konoha shinobi fighters who were still a little shaken, temporarily calmed down one by one. Let's all fight for Konoha with me. Sarutobi Hiruzen saw everyone calm down and encouraged again. Oh, the ninjas of Konoha were inspired again and looked at 9 tails in front of them. They have nowhere to go, because behind them is their home and their relatives. Everyone prepares Earth-style ninjutsu. Let's resist the attack of 9 tails together. Sarutobi Hiruzen commanded again. Certainly, everyone responded, and then, all began to seal. Upon seeing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen faced 9 tails again, and also began to seal. At this time, more than 200 Jonins of Konoha, including Sarutobi Hiruzen and Tsunade, began to seal the knot. At this time, 9 tails tailed beast bomb had already condensed to a limit. Immediately after, 9 tails did not hesitate at all, and sprayed its super beast at Sarutobi Hiruzen, Tsunade and others, and also at Konoha. Large-tailed beast bomb. Hoo. Tailed beast bomb, like a small mountain, slammed over with a whistling sound. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen and Konoha's 200 Domingo ninjas finished their seals almost at the same time, and immediately pressed the tailed beast bomb to the ground. Super Tuliubi technique. Boom. With so many ninjas using ninjutsu at the same time, the earth began to shake continuously, and then, an earthen wall with a thickness of 30 or 40 meters and a height of 50 meters rose up. Hey! The tailed beast bomb, like a hill, also flew to the front at this time, directly hitting the tall field wall technique. The moment tailed beast bomb came into contact with the earth wall, as if the space was frozen, there was a pause for a few seconds, and then, a white light burst out suddenly, like a small sun, and temporarily released a dazzling light. At the moment when the white light was temporarily released, an earth-shattering loud noise and shock waves swept away in all directions. Boom. Whoa. White light shrouded the entire Konoha, and under the shock wave, Konoha turned countless buildings into ruins. The trees were carried into the air by the shock wave. The Konoha civilians hiding in the Hokage Rock Refuge, as well as the low-level genin, lost their hearing and covered their ears one by one under the loud noise. I don't know how long has passed, maybe a minute, or maybe just a short moment. When the shock wave dissipated and the sound of the explosion dissipated, a ninja staggered out of the Hokage Rock Refuge and there was a detection situation. When he supported the rock wall, walked out of the cave of the shelter, and looked at Konoha, the whole person was stunned. Immediately afterwards, he slumped on the ground as if he had taken away all his strength. Noi, what's wrong with you? Konoha still. At this time, several more Konoha ninjas walked out of the shelter. However, when they saw Konoha's situation at this time, everyone was stunned. Looking at the scene in front of them, all the Konoha shinobi people couldn't believe that this was the village they lived in before, and this is the village they BBFH gave their lives to protect. I saw that in the center of Konoha at this time, a piece of ruins and broken walls, a huge pit with a diameter of more than 20 meters, was even printed on the king of Konoha. The explosion just now affected almost the entire Konoha shinobi village. Even if it wasn't the center of the battle, the countless buildings in Konoha were all reduced to ruins under the shock wave of the explosion. And in this piece of ruins, a fiery red giant beast is standing there. It can be said that today's Konoha can be rebuilt. Ooh, a Konoha Chunin cried. Immediately afterwards, this cry seemed to be contagious, and the surrounding ninjas also slumped on the ground and began to cry. The civilians in the shelter, as well as the ninja guarding here, listened to the cry at the door of the shelter. Some bold civilians and ninjas all walked out curiously. However, when they came out of the shelter and saw the Konoha at this time, it was almost in ruins, and they all slumped on the ground and cried. Their home is gone. What's going on here? In the innermost part of the shelter, there was a woman with a big belly and an ordinary appearance. Hearing the cries outside the shelter, she looked beside her with some puzzlement. She was wearing a tight-fitting suit, with thick eyebrows and a simple and honest beard. The man asked. I don't know. The man scratched his head, indicating that I don't know either. Then why don't we go and have a look together? I hope Lord Hokage and the others have solved that monster. I'm still cooking chicken soup at home, the pregnant woman said to the man. How about that? You are pregnant now, and there are still so many people here. I'll go and see for myself, the man disagreed. I'm fine, with you by my side, what can happen? The woman looked at her simple and honest husband and smiled gently. Although her husband, in the eyes of outsiders, is a 10,000 years genin, she understands that her husband is very powerful, and she also believes that her husband will one day stand out. Might Dai scratched his head a little embarrassedly when he heard his wife compliment him, and then smiled. That's fine. But you have to be careful. Understood. The woman smiled softly, and then, with the help of Might Dai, walked out of the shelter. However, when they saw the situation of Konoha at this time, they were also stunned. Dai, our home, is gone. The woman's eyes were wet, she leaned on Might Dai's body weakly, and wept tremblingly. Might Dai supported his pregnant wife, watching Konoha's situation, his fists clenched. Quick, run. That monster is going to attack here. However, at this moment, a cry of exclamation pulled everyone back to God. Everyone looked at Konoha, the giant claw standing in the ruins. I saw that giant beast, facing them, quickly gathered a tailed beast bomb. Quick, run. That monster is going to attack us. Ah, what to do? What to do? Where's Hokage-sama? Hokage-sama. It's over. It's over. We're going to die. Don't mess. Don't mess. All go to the depths of the refuge, hurry up. It's over. That's the tailed beast bomb. The tailed beast bomb is flying towards us. The entrance to the shelter at Hokage Rock was a mess, because they saw Nine Tails fired a tailed beast jade right at them. Although this tailed beast bomb is not as good as the one just now, the powerful tailed beast bomb is enough to blast them into scum. In the chaotic crowd, Might wears to protect his pregnant wife, preventing others from bumping into her. He wanted to escort his wife to a safe place before coming out. However, the entire gate of the shelter was in chaos, crowded with people, and there was no movement at all. At this time, the tailed beast bomb of Nine Tails has been condensed and fired the tailed beast bomb directly at them. Countless people saw this scene, and they were all stunned. Not moving, one by one watching the tailed beast bomb getting closer and closer. It's over. In the hearts of everyone, these two words popped up involuntarily. Call out. A tailed beast bomb with a diameter of more than 10 meters, carrying a whistling sound, flew straight over under the desperate gaze of everyone. Whoosh! Just when everyone was in despair, a green figure suddenly appeared in front of the tailed beast bomb. Then, under the shocked gazes of countless people, the figure kicked the tailed beast bomb into the sky. Boom! Tailed beast bomb exploded in the dark night sky, illuminating everyone's shocked faces. Immediately, under everyone's unbelievable gaze, the silhouette that kicked the tailed beast bomb just now came to a pregnant woman. Sorry, Might Dai said apologetically to his wife. Dai, go, leave your youth for now. My child and I will wait for you to come back. Might Dai's wife, looking at her apologetic husband, showed a gentle smile. Although she is not very beautiful, her smile is very beautiful. Might Dai nodded solemnly, then came to a ninja who was staring blankly at him, bowed deeply to the ninja in a daze. Please take care of my wife, please. Quote. Ah. The ninja who hadn't recovered from the shock heard Dai's words and was stunned again, and then quickly replied, Don't worry. I will definitely protect madam. Please. Might stood up straight, nodded to his wife, and then looked at Nine Tails and Konoha, clenching his fists. Aha! Sixth gate, view gate. A green gas emanated from Might Dai's body, his skin began to turn red, and an aura erupted from him. Aha! Whoosh! Immediately afterwards, when everyone was stunned, Might Dai turned into a green meteor and flew towards Nine Tails. Dai, be sure to come back safely. Might Dai's wife, watching Dai, who was rushing towards Nine Tails like a shooting star, stroked her bulging belly slightly, her face full of worry. Boom! Might Dai, who opened sixth gate, came to Nine Tails almost instantly. Without waiting for Nine Tails to respond, he kicked Nine Tails in the abdomen. Call out. Under the watchful eyes of countless people, Might's kick directly kicked the huge Nine Tails upside down. Ah-ah-da! Whoosh! Might Dai, who was wrapped in green gas, looked at Nine Tails, who flew out backwards, flashed again, and directly chased after him. Roar! Nine Tails, who flew out, turned over, landed on the ground with 4 claws, and dragged 2 deep ravines on the ground. Only then did the figure stop. The Might in front of it was wearing it, and 10 melon seeds were drawn. Who? Nine Tails paused, with a whistling sound, slapped Might Dai. However, I saw Might Dai's body accelerated again, directly in front of Nine Tails' head, raised his fist and slammed it. Bang! The punch that Might wore hit Nine Tails on the left side of the face, and with enormous strength, Nine Tails stumbled and fell to the side. Ada! Ada! Bang 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 bang! Might Dai's speed was very fast. Nine Tails hadn't fallen down yet. He appeared on Nine Tails' chest. he threw his fist again, and then, punch after punch hit Ninetales' chest. Punching God, Ninetales can only keep retreating. Is he? Sarutobi Hiruzen climbed up from the ruins, and before he could see the situation of Konoha village, he saw a man wrapped in green gas beat Ninetales back continuously. And, most importantly, he didn't know that man. When did Konoha have such a master? Dai. His name is Might Dai. Tsunade came to Sarutobi Hiruzen's side full of dirt at this time, looked at the man who was beating Ninetales, and said slowly, Might Dai. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned when he heard the name. He felt that the name sounded familiar, but also unfamiliar. That's right. Tsunade nodded, then said, Might Dai, Genin of Konoha. He used to have the same title as Yi Ming. 0. Speaking of this, Tsunade looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with some mockery. He is the same as Yi Ming, chakra is rare, so he can't practice ninjutsu, illusion, only taijutsu. Might wears the 10,000 years Genin who is called Konoha. Yi Ming used to be the tale of 10,000 years, hee. Old man, what do you think of them now? Sarutobi Hiruzen was speechless, and said in his heart, I didn't call these titles out. I know you hate me, but you can't throw all the pot on my head, right? I'm not Danzo. Danzo smiley face. Cough. Sarutobi Hiruzen coughed and looked at Might Dai, who beat the Ninetales back and forth, and said, I didn't expect that I, Konoha, still have this kind of physique. It's really my Konoha's luck. Yeah. Tsunade nodded, then continued mocking, a Genin dares to fight with Ninetales, how about your old buddies? After Tsunade finished speaking, he looked at Konoha at this time, and suppressed his anger. Your elders are really good enough. Konoha is so beaten, you can't even see a shadow. Sarutobi Hiruzen heard this and was speechless. Tsunade ignored him and looked at the battle between Might Dai and Ninetales, full of emotion in his heart. Who would have thought that two people who were once looked down upon would have such power? Yi Ming, that guy doesn't matter. Even Dai, who only practiced physical skills, has such a powerful power. I really don't know, those who used to ridicule them, what kind of watch is it now? He's 10,000 years Genin might. How could he be so strong? My god, isn't Might Dai unable to practice ninjutsu? Since he was fighting against that monster. Am I dreaming? Might Dai is fighting with taijutsu. Since taijutsu can also be cultivated so powerfully. Just kidding. It's amazing. Sure enough, someone who has such a good relationship with Lord Yi Ming will definitely not be weak. Countless people in front of the shelter looked at the figure that was beating Ninetales madly, and all of them showed incredible expressions. Because, many of them know that person. Child, do you know? Your father is a hero. You have to be obedient, and you will be like your father in the future. Might Dai's wife looked at her husband who was temporarily holding her star on the battlefield, with a proud look on her face. While stroking her stomach, she muttered to her 6-month-old child, language. Boom. With another heavy kick, Might Dai kicked Ninetales out, and then slowly landed on the ground. Hoo. After the Ninetales fell to the ground, the 8 inner gates lifted, gasping for breath as he looked at the Ninetales who were knocked out of the Konoha village range by him. Might Dai took a deep breath again, and then, the 6th gate of 8 inner gates, the rich gate opened again. Boom. Might Dai, who opened the 6th gate again, jumped to the sky, and then came to the sky above the Ninetales, clenched his fists, and punched continuously towards the Ninetales below. Burning Youth. Towards the Peacock Tilde operator. Flames appeared on Might's fist, and when he raised his fist, fireballs fell towards Ninetales like shooting stars. Boom 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 boom. Instantly, a loud explosion sounded, and the smoke instantly covered Ninetales' body. Ada, I don't know how many punches were thrown, or how many fireballs fell. When Might Dai charged out a giant great fireball, he stopped his continuous attacks. Whoa. Might Dai landed on a dilapidated house, looked at the gunpowder in front of him, and gasped again. Ha, ho. Might Dai laughed suddenly. So happy. It's so happy. Since he became a ninja, developed, and practiced 8 inner gates, he has never had such a good fight. Due to the scarcity of his chakra, even the 3-body technique can only be used reluctantly, so he can only become a genin. It was fine during the war. He could take on some escort missions, but he would never encounter any enemies. Usually, he can only take on tasks that are not dangerous, such as weeding, catching insects and so on. Therefore, he had no chance to display his strength at all, and he had no chance to become a Chunin. Over time, he also gave up the promotion of Chunin, and devoted himself to developing his own physical skills every day. And today, he finally got his wish in a fight, and he still fought against the legendary Nine Tails, which doesn't make Might wear fast. Youth, it's about to be played. Might wears one hand on his waist, showing a thumb and a smile on his face. Roar. However, at this moment, the roar of Nine Tails resounded in the smoke, and immediately a paw slapped Might Dai. Might Dai's expression instantly became solemn. As expected of destroying Konoha into such a monster, let's take a break from youth again. Seeing the claws that Nine Tails grabbed towards him, Might Dai opened the view door again, dodged the claws of Nine Tails with a jump, and landed directly on the claws of Nine Tails, stepping on its claws, running open your mouth. Ah da! Might stepped on Nine Tails' claws and came to its shoulders, then jumped up, swept across, and kicked Nine Tails in the face. Boom! Nine Tails flew out again, and Might Dai continued to catch up. At this time, Nine Tails seemed to have figured out Might Dai's attack method. When he flew out, he turned around in midair, aimed his mouth at Might Dai, and sprayed out a small-tailed beast bomb. Boom! The little-tailed beast bomb landed directly on Might Dai, who was chasing up. Suddenly, the tailed beast bomb exploded, and Might Dai was covered in gunpowder smoke. Dai. In front of the Hokage Rock Refuge, seeing Might Dai being hit by the tailed beast bomb, Might Dai's wife screamed in surprise and was about to collapse on the ground. Be careful, ma'am. A Konoha ninja next to him hurriedly supported Might Dai's wife. And everyone around, looking at Might Dai who was covered in gunpowder smoke, also showed worried expressions. Sure enough, isn't it? Why is that monster so powerful? Lord Hokage, Lord Tsunade, and so many Jonin, and Lord Might Dai, since we can't take it down, are we really finished? Huh, wait, look, Might is fine. What, Might is okay? How is that possible? He's really okay. Oh, that's great, he's really fine, see Gui. On Might Dai's side, when the gun smoke was about to dissipate, Might Dai's figure rose into the sky and rushed out of the gun smoke. I saw him with his hands crossed in front of him, using his physical technique to resist a small-tailed beast bomb abruptly. Mr. Yi Ming, youth will never stop. Might Dai, who was enveloped in green gas and soared into the sky, couldn't help but recall the first time he heard the news of Yi Ming fighting a demigod alone. Yi Ming, like him, can't practice ninjutsu, but can only practice taijutsu, although it is said that Yi Ming has the power to fight against demigods because he has awakened the boundary of blood. But Might Dai didn't feel the slightest frustration, instead, he practiced physique even more desperately. Because, he believed, it was Yi Ming's efforts that changed his fate. Yi Ming, he did it. He might can do it too. 8 inner gates. Might Dai crossed his hands in front of him, and the surrounding gas suddenly became violent. 7th gate. Startled. Open. Boom. The blue arrogance rose into the sky, and a shock wave centered on Might Dai rushed towards all directions. Might Dai opened the 8 inner gates formation, the 7th gate before the death gate. And at this point in time, Might Dai has the strength of Might Dai in the original book, all of which is of course due to the influence of Yi Ming, a little butterfly. Might Dai, who was wrapped in blue arrogance, looked at Nine Tails in front of him, folded his hands together, formed a gesture, and then shouted violently. Chapter 71. Day Tiger. Ow! A tiger head made of white gas condensed and flew towards Nine Tails. Facing Might's Day Tiger, Nine Tails once again condensed a tailed beast bomb and sprayed it out. Boom! The white translucent tiger collided with the tailed beast bomb, and a loud noise suddenly sounded. Whoosh! Might Dai, who was wrapped in blue arrogance, ran towards Nine Tails at a high speed. However, although Nine Tails has been controlled, it also knows that it can no longer melee this human. So, seeing Might Dai approaching it, it started spraying tail beast pressure at Might Dai continuously. Shoo shoo shoo. 4 or 5 tailed beast bombs flew towards Might Dai. Aha! Whoosh! Might Dai jumped violently, passed through the middle of several tailed beast bombs, and jumped to Kongshin. Boom boom boom. The tailed beast bomb exploded on the ground, but didn't hurt Might in midair. Day Tiger. Might Dai, who was in the air, sent a Day Tiger to Nine Tails again, and suddenly another white tiger flew towards Nine Tails. However, Nine Tails is not a vegetarian either. Looking at the flying Day Tiger, it once again condensed a tailed beast bomb and sprayed it out, directly offsetting the shoulder tiger that Might was wearing. Boom 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 boom. Repeatedly, no matter how Might moved, Ninetales stopped getting close to him and kept hanging Might with the tailed beast bomb. On a big tree on the edge of the battlefield, a figure shrouded in black robes stood on the trunk, and a pair of blood-red Mangekyo Sharingan under the black robes was watching Might die and Ninetales fighting. I didn't expect that in the ninja world, since there are people with such powerful taijutsu. My class originally called you the strongest taijutsu. The moonlight shone on the black-robed man's face, revealing an old face. Who else is this Uchiha Madara? At this time, Uchiha Madara, watching Might wearing body technique Yingang Ninetales, and Ninetales under his control, was invincible. Even if he hadn't used Mangekyo Sharingan to control Ninetales, I'm afraid the Ninetales at this time would have been suppressed by Might. What a terrifying physical art. Uchiha Madara couldn't help but sigh again. At this time, a pitcher plant slowly rose from the trunk next to Uchiha Madara's feet. Sir Ban, that kid is almost here. Black Zetsu, who shares a body with White Zetsu, looked at Uchiha Madara and said, "Oh, are you here?" Uchiha Madara heard the words, looked at Black Zetsu, and then turned to look at Konoha, which was almost in ruins. A smile appeared on the old face. "I don't know what choice you will make in the face of countless people's doubts, accusations, and scolding. Don't let me down." Oops, Mr. Ban is really insidious. That kid's girlfriend, who ruined Konoha and killed so many Konoha's people, and that kid is now Konoha's hero. That kid continues to be with Jinchuriki, then he will face the hatred of the Konoha people with Jinchuriki, and Konoha will no longer have a place for him. But Mr. Ban, what if that little brat broke up with Jinchuriki? Wouldn't our plan fail? White Zetsu did not look at Gyuuzuya Madara's dark face at all, he said to himself, and at the end he tilted his head and looked at Uchiha Madara and asked. Uchiha Madara didn't bother to pay attention to this idiot, and just pretended that he didn't hear it. At this time, Black Zetsu smiled sullenly, "Haha. If that kid can let go of his childhood sweetheart, it means that his heart is ruthless and his ambition is great, and our chance to win over is even greater." "Oh, so it is," White Zetsu looked suddenly realized, and then, he showed a very frightened look. "Oh. It's scary, Mr. Ban, and Black Zetsu are all good insidious, how do you describe it in human terms?" "Well, it's Lao Yin Bi, my god. I'm so innocent, I won't be sold by you, and I'm still counting money with you." Uchiha Madara, Black Zetsu. Black Zetsu looked at such a funny White Zetsu, and really didn't want to share a body with him. He separated directly from White Zetsu's body, stood beside Uchiha Madara, watched the battle between Ninetales and Might die and asked, "Master Ban. The seal of the tailed beast has been released, won't Jinchuriki die? If the Ninetales Jinchuriki dies, our follow-up plans are in vain." Hearing this, Uchiha Madara smiled slightly and said, "The other Jinchuriki, when the seal is lifted, will indeed die immediately, but that little girl is from the Uzumaki clan, and her vitality is already strong, and besides, I haven't completely unlocked the Ninetales. Seal Ninetales Jinchuriki will not die." "Oh, really?" Black Zetsu nodded, then praised, "Master Ban's ability to control tailed beasts is really amazing." Facing Black Zetsu's flattery, Uchiha Madara didn't respond. With a pair of Mangekyo riding wheels, he stared at Might Dai, who was moving at a high speed, and immediately let out a light ha. That guy's chakra began to flow to his heart. The position of this guy, is this guy dying? Such a violent chakra enters the heart, even if can obtain short-term power, I am afraid he will die. It seems that this guy's body technique belongs to the forbidden technique in the forbidden technique. For a brief period of light, and then to die in the light. Stupid guy. Quote. Among the ruins of Konoha. Is this still taijutsu? Since this kind of taijutsu can make people possess such terrifying power, Sarutobi Hiruzen, looking at the picture of Might Dai and Ninetales fighting against each other, his face was full of inconceivable expressions. This is the 8 inner gates formation. Tsunade looked at Might Dai dignifiedly at this time and said, "This is a forbidden technique, 8 inner gates." As the name suggests, through continuous practice of body arts, after enhancing one's physique, open the 8 portals in the body. Every time you open one, whether it is strength, thinking ability, or chakra, will be doubled. This is a very powerful body art. But, Tsunade said this, paused for a moment, and then continued. Every time a door is opened, the body will be under tremendous pressure, and when the last door is reached, which is the dead door, then. Tsunade said this and said no more. She was able to know 8 inner gates because she practiced with Yi Ming. This is really the forbidden technique in physique. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed, his eyes revealing a different kind of thought. Boom boom boom. Whizzing. Might Dai kept dodging the tailed beast bomb that Nine Tails shot at him, and at the same time, he was trying to get close to Nine Tails, and wanted to have a close combat with Nine Tails. However, Nine Tails, under the control of the combat-experienced Uchiha Madara, has been keeping his distance from him, just using the tailed beast bomb to follow him. This big guy is so cunning. Might Dai watched Nine Tails grit his teeth, and was in a dilemma for a while. The monster's chakra is almost endless, and it can go on and on. But he can't. Even if his physique has been polished for 3 years, 8 inner gates can already open the 7th gate. But the side effects of 8 inner gates are still there. At this time, he could already feel that his body was reaching its limit. No, we must fight quickly. Might's expression rose. When he dodged a few tailed beast bombs again, he thought about launching the Day Tiger, and then looking for a chance to get close. However, when he was just about to launch the Day Tiger, he suddenly saw that Nine Tails was not launching tailed beast bomb at him, and instead sprayed tailed beast bomb in the direction of Hokage Rock. Not good. Might Dai's face changed greatly when he saw this. Then, he dodged and moved to the 3 tailed beast bombs flying towards the Hokage Rock. Then, he launched Day Tiger against the few tailed beast bombs in front of him. Day Tiger. Ow. Boom. The Day Tiger collided with the 3 tailed beast bombs, and they exploded. Hoo. Might fell to the ground, his hands on his knees, gasping for breath, and drops of sweat fell on the ground like rain. At this time, he had been physically forcibly closed the 8 inner gates. Have you reached the limit? Tsunade in the distance, looking at Might Dai who was gasping for breath, immediately knew that Might Dai's body had reached the limit, so he stepped up and ran towards Might Dai. Seeing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen and Konoha's ninjas followed one by one. At this time, Nine Tails seemed to know the weakness of Might's wearing. Since it did not wear the jet-tailed beast at Might, who seemed to have no fighting power, it continued to aim at the direction of Hokage Rock and condensed a large-tailed beast bomb. Might's eyes were cracked, and beyond Hokage Rock was Konoha's sanctuary, his wife. And the unborn child is still there. Call out. A tailed beast bomb, which was obviously several times larger than the previous tailed beast bomb, flew towards the Hokage Rock and flew past the doctor. Seeing this, Might Dai endured the pain in his body, forcibly controlled his body, and jumped to the front of the flight path of tailed beast bomb. Watching the approaching tailed beast bomb, his Hokage Rock location. In the eyes, there are talents, gentleness and other emotions. In front of the Hokage Rock refuge, Might Dai's wife saw Might Dai standing in front of tailed beast bomb in midair, and turned to look here. She suddenly knew what her husband wanted to do. Dai. Might Dai's wife suddenly burst into tears and shouted at Might Dai. As Might Dai's wife and someone who gets along day and night, she naturally knows the 8 inner gates, a forbidden technique, and also knows what the full opening of the 8 gates means. Now in this situation, Might Dai's wife knows that he wants to use his last youth to protect her and the child in her womb. Midair turned to look at Might Dai of Hokage Rock, as if he knew his wife was watching him. He suddenly pointed in the direction of Hokage Rock, stretched out his thumb, showed a smile, and shouted loudly, "Sweat is the brilliance of youth, even if our youth is lost here, it will eventually be retrieved here. Guy, please don't forget, my son, that youth never retreats and never ends." After Might Dai finished speaking, he turned around and looked at the tailed beast bomb flying over without any fear. At the same time, the hand he had just stretched out, his thumb slowly touched the position of his heart. "Let me burn my youth." As Might Dai's voice fell, the 7th gate in his body was instantly opened, and then, a violent chakra crossed the veins connecting the 7th gate and slowly moved towards the 8th gate. The position of the heart rushed over. Not good. Dai, this is going to open the door. Tsunade, who was running over, saw this scene, and his face changed suddenly. When Sarutobi Hiruzen and the Konoha shinobi who followed him heard the words, they all stopped and looked at Might Dai. "Lord Hokage, Might wears the chakra in his body, and suddenly becomes very violent, and this violent chakra is heading towards the heart. The young Hyuga Hiyashi opened his eyes and stood at Sarutobi Hiruzen's beside him. He said with a solemn expression. Are you going to open the 8th gate of the forbidden technique? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Might Dai with the same solemn expression. On Might Dai's side, with the violent chakra flowing along the meridians to the position of the heart, the gas around him slowly turned red, and his skin was even more like burning, the king's red and black. At this moment, Tailed Beast Bomb was already less than 10 meters away from Might. Seeing this, Might Dai stepped directly on the air and put on a punching posture. Burn it, youth, county. After saying that, he was about to throw his fist at the flying Tailed Beast Bomb. Hey, clap. However, at this moment, a hand was placed on his shoulder, and immediately, Might Dai felt a strange energy entering his body. Before Might Dai could react, that peculiar energy immediately dissipated the violent chakra of the 8 inner gates. With such a stupefied effort, Might Dai was forcibly stopped before he could fully open the 8 inner gates formation. Dai, your youth speech is very good. However, I think it's better for you to speak to your son's youth than to speak to him in person, isn't it? A familiar voice entered Might Dai's ear, however, before he could react. He saw a figure and stopped directly in front of him. Immediately afterwards, that figure suddenly clenched his fist, a circle of milky white light appeared on the fist, and punched out the Tailed Beast Bomb that flew over. Boom, crack clap clap. The fist seemed to hit the glass, and cracks appeared in the air, followed by boom, a terrifying force burst out, directly facing the huge Tailed Beast Bomb. Wong, Tailed Beast Bomb collided with that terrifying force, and in an instant, Tailed Beast Bomb's flying footsteps stopped, and it was held by that terrifying force. Might stared blankly at the back of the person who suddenly appeared in front of him. He always felt that the voice was a little familiar. Before he could remember who it was, the voice of that person rang in his ears again. As expected of the strongest tailed beast, this Tailed Beast Bomb is much stronger than that civet cat. But the voice of the man in front sounded in Might's ear, and then he saw that man suddenly stretched out a hand, his palm turned into a claw, as if he had directly grabbed the air, and then he suddenly threw it. Om, ha, boom, the air trembled again, and immediately, Nine Tails' Tailed Beast Bomb was thrown straight into the air and exploded. The explosion of this Tailed Beast Bomb seemed to form a small sun, which instantly brightened the dark night sky. Dai, long time no see, I've become a lot stronger. Yi Ming and Might Dai landed on the ground, looking at Might Dai, who was looking at him in a daze, and couldn't help but smile. Are you Mr. Yi Ming? Might Dai looked at it for a while, and then recognized this partner who had been with him for a long time, carrying the title of 10,000 years. What, don't recognize me? Yi Ming looked at Might Dai and shrugged. Ah, Might regained his senses, and then, he temporarily released his smile and said excitedly, it's really you. My dear, it's been a few years since I haven't seen you, and you've grown so tall, full of youthful vigor, as expected of Yi Ming who inherited youth. Might Dai said, and gave Yi Ming a thumbs up excitedly, as if those sad emotions just now had never happened to him. BBBJ, however, as Might Dai said, Yi Ming has indeed changed a lot. At the age of 15, he is almost 18 in height, with a handsome face, three-dimensional features, a black vest, and a long waist. Knife. His skin was tanned to a healthy wheat color because he stayed in the land of wind for a few months, and in addition to taking over the entire Konoha medical department in the past few months, his temperament has also changed. When people saw him, they couldn't believe that he was still a 15-year-old boy. Haha, Dai, you are still so full of energy. Yi Ming saw the teacher and friend who he hadn't seen for many years, still looking like this, and couldn't help laughing. Yi Ming. And at this moment, a crisp voice entered Yi Ming's ears. Yi Ming turned to look, and immediately saw a figure, jumped directly into his arms, and hugged him tightly with a little trembling. Yi Ming was stunned for a moment, and then he hugged the beauty in his arms tightly. Yi Ming, I'm sorry, I didn't protect Kushina well, it's all, blame me, if I hadn't been drunk, Kushina wouldn't have been caught. Konoha wouldn't have. Tsunade hugged Ming tightly. His body trembled slightly, and he wept in a low voice. Yes, she cried, the once strong, somewhat hot-tempered, indomitable Tsunade, now, cry. During this period of time, She has been using alcohol to ease her worries every day, especially when she saw the lively Senju clan in the past. Once her relatives died one by one, and now she is the only one left, she is even more afraid to face the reality. However, God seems to think that she is not miserable enough. Just tonight, in this world, Kushina, one of the closest people in the world, was forcibly kidnapped under her nose. And the seal was unsealed. Nine Tails are released. She knew very well what the release of Nine Tails meant for Kushina as Jinchuriki. She looks like she's about to lose another family member. She seems to be a lonely star, and everyone who is close to her will suffer misfortune. In fact, when Nine Tails broke the seal, seeing Konoha, which her Senju clan had worked so hard to build, was destroyed like this, her spirit was about to collapse. But now that Yiming appeared, she seemed to have found support, and her suppressed emotions were instantly aroused. Yiming stroked Tsunade's hair, letting her tears wet his clothes, her eyes filled with pity. Gentle. This woman who has always been like a woman, this woman who has always been strong, she is a woman in the end. It's all right. I'm back, I'll be with me, it'll be all right. Yiming comforted Tsunade, his eyes gradually sharpened. In the past, he was just a passerby who had few chakras, could not practice ninjutsu, and could only practice taijutsu to protect himself. He couldn't protect Kushina, he couldn't protect Tsunade, he couldn't save the Senju clan, and he couldn't even protect himself at that time. However, everything is different now. Today, although he is still unable to crush the entire ninja world. However, with his current strength, this is enough for him to protect himself and the people he cares about. Even, at this time, even Uchiha Madara dared to fight. You don't blame me. Kushina, she. Tsunade looked up, tears still on her cheeks. Yiming heard the words, and looked at Nine Tails, who was on all fours in the distance, with Nine Tails fluttering behind his back, and said in an offensive posture, I can still sense Kushina's breath, the seal should not be completely broken. Speaking of this, Yiming suddenly looked in one direction, his eyes narrowed slightly, a surge of anger rose, and he muttered to himself, is that the guy? Since Kushina is used to count me, good, very. The garbage of history should be thrown back into the trash can. Since you don't want to, then I can only help you. For Yiming, who has read the original book, in fact, he still prefers the role of Uchiha Madara. However, now he is not an anime, but came to this world alive. No matter how much he liked the character of Uchiha Madara before, but now he has touched Yiming's inverse scale, so what if you are Ban? Lousy still kills. Seeing Yiming looking in one direction, Tsunade's aura suddenly changed, he immediately left Yiming's embrace, followed Yiming's gaze, and looked over. Yiming, do you know the guy who kidnapped Kushina? Is he, in that direction? Tsunade clenched his fist tightly, as if he was about to rush out. Yiming suddenly retracted his gaze, put his hand on Tsunade's shoulder, looked at Nine Tails in the distance, and said, I will deal with that guy. The most important thing now is to save Kushina back. After saying that, Yiming slowly walked in the direction of Nine Tails. And he did not pay any attention to Sarutobi Hiruzen and others who also came over. Then, who is that? Since you have resisted that monster's attack. It's too far to see clearly. Hey, boy, are you Chunin? Do you know who that man is? Yes, it's Lord Yiming. Lord Yiming is back. Great, Lord Yiming is back. Yiming. It was a few years ago that he fought a demigod alone, and not long ago, he fought against Sand Shinobi's natural disaster Yiming. Really, it's really Lord Yiming, haha. Lord Yiming is back, and our Konoha is saved. Master Yiming Tianba. Lord Yiming, you must defeat that monster, Lord Yiming, Daddy. The people in front of the Hokage Rock Refuge saw a person suddenly appear and resist Tailed Beast Bomb. They were puzzled for a while. They didn't remember Konoha Sanin besides Konoha. There are such powerful young people. But when a Chunin came down from the battlefield, he called out Yiming's name. Immediately, everyone was boiling. Because they heard about it. Lord Yiming is an existence capable of capturing tailed beasts and unleashing natural disasters. It's great, Dai. It's great that you're fine. Might Day's wife, looking at the figure lying directly on the ground, wiped away her tears and said, that's Lord Yiming. Even though I can't see his appearance clearly, didn't Dai say that he is only 15 years old now? Look at his appearance, he doesn't look like it. Konoha Deep Underground. Root Headquarters, in a dark room, Shimura Danzo, Udatane Kaharu, Mitokado Homura, Konoha's F4 third gathered in this room. Danzo, are we really not going to support? Udatane Kaharu asked Danzo, who was sitting quietly with his eyes closed, listening to the rumbling from time to time and the shaking of the ground from time to time. Yeah, Danzo, we are the top of Konoha. Now that Nine Tails are raging in Konoha, it's a little bad if we don't show up. Besides, Sarutobi is our old friend for many years. We just watch it, don't we do it? Mitokado Homura heard Udatane Kaharu's words and followed suit. Danzo, who kept his eyes closed, opened his eyes slightly after listening to the two of them, glanced at the two trash, and then said lightly, okay. If you want to go, then go. However, but let me remind you that Nine Tails came out of the seal, not Jinchuriki going wild. Udatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura were silent for a while. They are not stupid, and they also have self-knowledge, and they have become accustomed to being pampered as they have been in high positions over the years. Their strength has also dropped drastically. They used to have cage-level strength, and now they are almost the same as Jonin. Even, because they have not fought and practiced for a long time, they are not as good as ordinary Jonin. Let them face the tailed beast, or Nine Tails, the strongest of the tailed beasts. What's the joke? Looking at the two people who were silent, Danzo was even more disdainful. If there were still places where these two guys could be used, he wouldn't want to take care of these two wastes. At this time, a masked rude ninja suddenly appeared in the room. After the rude ninja appeared, he knelt down in front of Danzo and reported, "Lord Danzo, Yiming is back." Danzo, who was full of indifference at first, immediately stood up when he heard the words of the rude ninja, and then asked with a gloomy expression, "So what is the situation now?" To be specific, did Sarutobi Hiruzen die in battle? Reporting to Lord Danzo, Nine Tails suddenly ran wild, everyone was caught off guard, and there were countless civilian casualties. It has not yet been counted. When Genin Chunin appeared in Nine Tails, more than 600 people died and were missing. Jonin has not yet counted them, and it is estimated that there are hundreds of people. Also, Konoha village was bombed by Nine Tails' consecutive tailed beast bombs, and almost 3/4 were destroyed. As for Hokage-sama, he's fine, the root ninja answered honestly. What? Kaharu was destroyed by 3/4 of the area. And, this casualty, hearing the words of the root ninja, Danzo exclaimed before turning to Kaharu Span. Solid. Konoha was destroyed by 3/4 of the area, and it has almost been leveled by Nine Tails. Danzo, let's support, we can't wait any longer, Konoha may be finished if we go on like this. Mitokado Homura was also a little panicked at this time. It's not how much he has feelings for Konoha, of course, there are feelings, but what he cares more about is his rights in Konoha. If Konoha is gone, how can he enjoy these rights? However, in the face of the shock of the two, Danzo ignored it and his face was gloomy and terrible. He did not expect that such a powerful Nine Tails could not kill Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen is not dead, so how can he be Hokage? By the way, Konoha destroyed 3/4 of the area, this is Sarutobi Hiruzen's biggest mistake. Maybe you can make a fuss here. Thinking of this, Danzo's face looked a lot better, but then he frowned again. Without him, the power of Nine Tails is too powerful. If he has such power, does he need to hide in such a place? Kaharu, Homura, you go out first, I'll go to support right away. Danzo looked at Udatane Kaharu, and Mitokado Homura said. Udatane Kaharu, Mitokado Homura heard the words, looked at Danzo with no expression, and only nodded and walked out of the room. After the two left, Danzo looked at the rude ninja again and asked in a deep voice, has Senju Naoki's organs been recovered? Also, wasn't his body brought back to Konoha by Tsunade? Why, can you be gone? Reporting to Lord Danzo, the team transporting Senju Naoki's organs was ambushed on the way, and the people who did it were very vigilant and did not find any clues. As for Senju Naoki's body, the same is true, if we didn't dig the grave, I don't even know it's an empty tomb, the rude ninja answered honestly in the face of Danzo's question. After Danzo listened, he slowly closed his eyes, then opened it again, and said to the ninja, go and get in touch with Orochimaru, and say that I have something interesting, and I want to cooperate with him on research, and ask him how he feels. Not interested. Yes, on the battlefield of Konoha. Pat pat pat. Yi Ming placed one hand on the handle of the knife attached to his waist, and walked towards Ninetales step by step. Whoosh! Yi Ming, who was walking slowly, turned into an afterimage and rushed towards Ninetales. Roar! Ninetales, who had been vigilant in his fighting stance, roared when Yi Ming rushed towards it, and immediately opened his mouth to condense a tailed beast bomb, which he wanted to smash at Yi Ming. Call out. However, Ninetales had just condensed the tailed beast bomb. Yi Ming had already come in front of it, and still came to the tailed beast bomb it had just condensed. Yi Ming looked at the tailed beast bomb that had just been condensed, and kicked the tailed beast bomb directly. Doo-doo. Ong. Yi Ming's kicked the foot, which was quickly wrapped in circles of milky white light, and kicked directly on the tailed beast bomb. However, if you look closely, Yi Ming's feet did not touch the tailed beast bomb at all, but the milky white light in the circle directly pressed on the tailed beast bomb. When the milky white light on Yi Ming's feet touched the tailed beast bomb, it seemed as if the world had lost its color, and the time had been pressed for pause. Stupid slings. A full 2 or 3 seconds passed, and cracks spread around Yi Ming's feet centered on Yi Ming's feet. Boom. Immediately afterwards, a vigorous shaking force was instantly stimulated, and immediately, the tailed beast bomb of Ninetales exploded. And Ninetales was also shaken by this force and flew out. Call out. Yi Ming stepped on the air and chased the Ninetales, who flew out backwards. Don't get me wrong, Yi Ming didn't learn anything about moonwalk, but he used the power of shock to vibrate the air, which gave him a focus and achieved air movement. And because of this, all the air that Yi Ming stepped on appeared cracks one after another. Soon, Yi Ming caught up with Ninetales. Before Ninetales could move, he raised his foot again and kicked Ninetales. Whoosh! Ninetales flew out again, but this time the direction was changed. And this direction is where Uchiha Madara and Black Zetsu are. Lord Ban, it looks like that kid has found us. What should we do now? Take him directly. Black Zetsu looked at Ninetales flying upside down, and asked involuntarily. No, Uchiha Madara shook his head, then said with great interest, it's not the time yet, we can leave, the stage has been set up for him, the next step is to wait. After Uchiha Madara finished speaking, the whole person has become confused and transparent, but in a short time, Uchiha Madara has lost her figure. Seeing this, Black Zetsu also slowly disappeared into the tree and disappeared. Allah, you just left. Wait for me. White Zetsu looked at the disappearing 1.5 people for a moment, then, seeing the Ninetales pressed down, he hurriedly escaped into the tree trunk. At the moment when White Zetsu disappeared, Ninetales' huge body directly overwhelmed the tree, dragged it on the ground, left a trail on the ground, and flew out of Konoha village. Have you left? Yi Ming came to the place where Uchiha Madara had just been, and frowned. I didn't expect that the old Uchiha Madara also turned into a mouse, but it's better to leave now, in this way, it's much easier to reseal. After perceiving for a while, Yi Ming felt relieved after not feeling Uchiha Madara's breath anymore. Although he is not afraid of the current Uchiha Madara, he is sure to beat him. But his current task is to reseal Ninetales and bring Kushina back. If Uchiha Madara didn't leave, then with his use of Sharingan and illusion, it would be difficult for him to reseal Ninetales and restore consciousness to Kushina. Roar! At this moment, Ninetales, who was kicked out of Konoha by Yi Ming, roared. Yi Ming looked up and saw Ninetales, which looked like a small mountain. At this time, his head was raised, his 9 tails were taut, and a super large tailed beast bomb was gathered. This one is getting bigger and bigger, but in just a moment, this dark purple tailed beast bomb exceeds the size of 9 tails, like a super large meteorite. Super large tailed beast bomb. Yi Ming looked at the tailed beast bomb that looked like a meteorite, and slowly put his hand on the hilt at his waist. Then, let me see, the power of the strongest tailed beast. Hey, 9 tails condensed and completed this super large tailed beast bomb, and immediately smashed it towards Yi Ming without hesitation. The huge tailed beast bomb, carrying strong winds and terrifying power, pressed down on the incomparably small Yi Ming. Facing the menacing super large tailed beast bomb, Yi Ming pulled out the long knife at his waist, took a horse step, and held the long knife in both hands. Yi Ming's long knife trembled, and immediately, it was wrapped in a blue chakra. Toot toot. Circle after circle of milky white light quickly converged on the long knife, forming a dazzling moon. Aha! When the huge-tailed beast bomb was still 100 meters away from Yiming let out a loud shout, and the long knife in both hands slid out. Whoosh! The milky white bright moon that gathered on Yiming's long knife was thrown out by him directly, facing the huge-tailed beast bomb. Click, click, click. When that round of halo of shining white light came into contact with the huge-tailed beast bomb, the originally menacing tailed beast bomb seemed to have been pressed the pause button, stopped in midair. Immediately, the cracks were like spider webs, covering the entire front of the tailed beast bomb in an instant. Boom 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 boom. The earth shook suddenly, and the strength of the shaking became stronger and stronger. Kacha kacha. Cracks appeared on the ground, and deep trenches crawled across the ground like lion majesty. Boom! A loud bang resounded through the heavens and the earth, and everyone in the ruins of Konoha in the distance seemed to see a sun rising up, and then a shock wave hit the face. When all the dust settled, I saw a bottomless, huge sinkhole in the center of the explosion. The smoke is still lingering. However, at this time a new battle had already begun. Yiming stepped on the air, cracks appeared under his feet, and rushed directly to Nine Tails on the other side of the pit. Boom boom boom. Bang bang bang. With bursts of roars, the roar of Nine Tails was introduced into Konoha and everyone's ears. However, due to the distance, everyone could only see a burst of fire rising into the sky in the distance, and the earth shook one after another. They only knew the intensity of the battle, but did not see the specific situation of the battle. Tsunade listened to the distant roars, and looked at the collapsed earth and mountains there, with worry and complexity in his heart. Especially seeing the scene as if the gods were fighting, Tsunade never thought that the kid who often came to her house to find Kushina back then now has the power of a god. And Sarutobi Hiruzen on the side, from beginning to end, has been silent. It's just that when he saw Yiming kicked Nine Tails out of Konoha with 2 feet and directly hardened the super large-tailed beast bomb, he could continue to fight against 9 stars. His face changed for a while, and finally he let out a long sigh. His originally straight body suddenly became slightly curved. Tsunade. Sarutobi Hiruzen's hoarse voice entered the ears of Tsunade, who was in a daze. Tsunade came back to his senses and glanced at his former mentor. Sarutobi Hiruzen saw Tsunade's unsalty expression and said bitterly, "After Konoha is rebuilt, I will submit an early retirement application to the daimyo." Tsunade was stunned when he heard the words, not understanding what kind of plane Sarutobi Hiruzen wanted. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the Konoha in the surrounding ruins, and then said lonely, "I live up to Nadime's sustenance, Konoha is in my hands, almost destroyed, maybe, I really am not suitable for this Hokage." As soon as Sarutobi Hiruzen's voice fell, the surrounding Konoha shinobi exclaimed, and then, one by one, they persuaded. "Lord Hokage, it's not your responsibility, please don't feel guilty. Lord Hokage." "Yeah, Lord Hokage, it's all because of that mysterious man, it's none of your business." "Lord Hokage." Sarutobi Hiruzen listened to the persuasion of the people around him and waved his hands to calm them down. Tsunade frowned, thought about it, and said, "Who are you going to let Hokage take over?" Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the direction of the battle ahead, turned to Tsunade and said, "My plan is to let Yiming take over, he is very powerful, and, on the Sand Shinobi battlefield, he led the medical department to save a lot of people, and also capturing one tail alive and forcing Sand Shinobi to surrender. Yiming achieved both strength and prestige, but he was too young and lacked inexperience. So, Tsunade, before Yiming grows up, how about you take over first?" After Tsunade listened, her beautiful eyes stared at Sarutobi Hiruzen. How could she not believe what he said? From the fall of the Senju clan and the death of Nawaki, she has seen his teacher clearly. With her character as a teacher, how could he possibly hand over the rights of Hokage? If it is another 10 years, she, the teacher, will hand over the rights of Hokage. She still believes that, but he is only in his 40s now, is he willing to have the rights of Hokage? Tsunade's eyes were fixed on Sarutobi Hiruzen, as if to see what he wanted to do. After a while, Tsunade was about to speak when suddenly a voice interrupted what Tsunade was about to say. "I disagree." Everyone looked in the direction where the voice came from, and saw Danzo in the lead, Utatane Kaharu, Mitokado Homura following Danzo, and 100 or 200 root ninjas walking towards them. Danzo, Kaharu, and Homura, where did you all go? Sarutobi Hiruzen saw Danzo and others, and immediately started to attack. Look, when our Konoha is in danger, you all go where? Humph, Danzo snorted coldly, and then said, we just came back from the land of rain. I didn't expect that the whole Konoha would be gone after a trip. Sarutobi, how did you act like a Hokage? Danzo's nonsense came as he opened his mouth, but instead accused Sarutobi Hiruzen of Hokage's incompetence. Sarutobi Hiruzen was so angry that he thought he was shameless enough. Unexpectedly, Danzo, a guy with thick eyebrows and big eyes, is more shameless than him. Just came back from the land of rain, what about the swindlers on horseback? Not long ago, these three old guys were still listening to his roar in the Hokage office, and now they are back from the land of rain. Do you all know the Flying Thunder God technique? However, before Sarutobi Hiruzen became angry, Danzo said again, Hokage's succession requires the appointment of a daimyo, and Kimura Yiming has stayed in the land of rain for 3 whole years, who knows if he has already joined the land of rain. Yes, Sarutobi, the position of Hokage, represents the future of the entire Konoha, and cannot be easily decided. At this time, Udatain Kaharu also spoke. That's right, Hokage's candidates, we have to be fair and just, I see. Let everyone vote to decide the most fair, Mitokado Homura also said. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked like he was going to vomit blood. Sarutobi, what you just said is correct, Konoha has become what it is today. You have an unshirkable responsibility, you are indeed not suitable for this Hokage, then I suggest that before the new movie is decided, I'll just be the agent Hokage. Danzo looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen who was about to explode with anger, changed his serious expression, showed a smile, and said slowly. At this time, Danzo's heart, I don't know how cool it is. He finally beat Sarutobi Hiruzen, it's not easy. As Tsunade watched this scene, he suddenly felt that the Senju clan's existence in name only for such a village was worthless, and his heart was even more disheartened. And at this time, she also understood why Sarutobi Hiruzen said what she just said in front of so many people. As expected of you, Mr. Sarutobi, this trick is to advance by retreating, enough fun. Looking back at Danzo, who was a little proud, Tsunade scolded an idiot. Originally, Konoha was destroyed like this, no matter what. Sarutobi Hiruzen has an unshirkable responsibility, but Danzo makes such a fuss, maybe he will save Sarutobi Hiruzen's Hokage position. Has Konoha decayed to such a degree? Grandpa, second grandfather, is this the meaning of your creation of Konoha? Tsunade looked at Hokage Rock, first Hokage. The statue of second Hokage, the heart as a cold. Boom, the huge body of Nine Tails slammed heavily on the ground, and a huge crater appeared in the ground in an instant. When the smoke of gunpowder dissipated, Nine Tails lay in the pit full of scars, but the scars on its body did not bleed out, but showed a red chakra shape. Pat pat pat, Yi Ming in ragged clothes, holding a long knife, came to the big pit, in front of Nine Tails. At this time, Yi Ming looked a little embarrassed. His shirt was burned away, revealing his muscles. Even his pants were burned with high temperature. Click, walla walla. Yi Ming came to the head of the huge Nine Tails, and suddenly, the long knife in his hand appeared a series of cracks, and then, the blade became iron sand and scattered on the ground. Seeing this, Yi Ming threw the hilt in his hand on the ground, and sighed inwardly, even a chakra knife with rare metals can't withstand the damage of the shock. Seems to be looking for a chance to take a look. Can you find the legendary Kusanagi sword? After all, having a good weapon would greatly increase his strength. Nine Tails. Yi Ming looked at Nine Tails who was in a state of collapse in front of him, and said lightly. The huge Nine Tails slowly opened his eyes and looked at the human who was not as tall as his head. The original Nine Tails eyes that were in the state of Mangekyo pattern have now returned to a pair of beastly vertical pupils. Obviously, the current Nine Tails has gotten rid of the Mangekyo Sharingan's control and regained his sanity. Human, you are very strong, but don't think that you have defeated the uncle. Quote. Nine Tails seemed to consume a lot of energy, facing Yi Ming who was close at hand, since he didn't attack him immediately. Okay, you don't have to talk nonsense, I'm not interested in listening, Yi Ming interrupted Ninetales' words and stepped directly on Ninetales' head. Humans, both dare. Boom. Still not waiting for Ninetales to finish speaking, Yi Ming punched it in the head, and immediately, Ninetales' eyes were staring. Noisy. Yi Ming said impatiently, squatted down, put his hand on Ninetales' head, and slowly closed his eyes. When Yi Ming closed his eyes, his spiritual power entered Ninetales. Oh no, to be precise, it entered Kushina's sea of consciousness. He had already discovered that Kushina was not dead, and Uchiha Madara didn't know what to do. The seal was not completely broken. Instead, they directly pulled Ninetales and Kushina into the illusion. This is also the case. Ninetales clearly did not completely break the seal, but Kushina showed no sign of resistance. I have to say that Uchiha Madara is really good at playing illusion. If it is an ordinary illusion, it will not make people completely fall into illusion and there is no resistance. But the illusion created by Uchiha Madara with Mangekyo Sharingan, even if it interferes with chakra, cannot awaken Kushina, because the illusion created by Uchiha Madara comes from a huge spiritual force. Yi Ming doesn't have a Sharingan, let alone a Mangekyo Sharingan. Therefore, if he wants to save Kushina now, he must use the same huge mental power to bring Ju Shinjin back from the Minister of Juvenile Art. Here is, after Yi Ming's spiritual power entered Kushina's consciousness, he felt a blackness before his eyes, and then he came to a forest. Humph. Hate, hate, hate to die. Grandpa won't teach me adamantine sealing chains, hate to die Grandpa. Just when Yi Ming was puzzled, a tender and crisp voice sounded in his ear. Yi Ming followed the direction of the sound, and after a while, he walked out of the dense forest and came to the edge of a small river. At this time, on the edge of the river, a little girl with long red hair threw stones towards the river in a righteous manner. Kushina. Seeing the little red-haired girl, Yi Ming shouted out happily, and then flew towards Kushina. Kushina, let's go, Yi Ming big brother is taking you back. Yi Ming came to Kushina and happily stretched out his hand, trying to catch her. However, Yi Ming grabbed an empty one, and his hand went straight through Kushina. And Kushina didn't seem to see him either, with a cute bun face, throwing stones into the river angrily. Only at this time did Yi Ming realize that Kushina at this time was only 4 or 5 years old. Is this Kushina's memory? Yi Ming looked at the little lowly Kushina, frowned and thought for a moment, and came over. Boom boom boom. At this moment, the sound of an explosion suddenly sounded. Yi Ming and the little lowly Kushina all looked in the direction of the explosion. Where is the direction of the village? No, the village was attacked. Little Lolita Kushina was a little dazed, looked at the direction of the rising black smoke, and then flew in that direction. Everyone must be fine. Grandpa, you must be fine too. Little Lolita Kushina rushed into the forest and went straight to Wuin village. Uzumaki clan genocide event. Yi Ming also followed behind the little lowly Kushina, heading in the direction of the explosion. At this time, he already knew that this memory of Kushina should be the time period when the Uzumaki clan was exterminated. I don't know how long it took. When the little lowly Kushina left the forest, she was shocked by the scene in front of her. At this time, the Wuin village was in ruins, and the smoke rose up, the fire burned the ruins, and a red-haired Uzumaki was lying in the blood. The village, everyone. All dead. Little lowly Kushina looked at the scene in front of her, tears fell down, her small body trembled and entered. There are corpses all over the field, and the ruined Wuin village. Kushina. Yi Ming looked at Kushina's small body and walked numbly in the village, feeling a pain in his heart. How he hoped that he would rush over now and hug this little man, but he knew that these things had already happened, and it was all just Kushina's memory. Whizzing. At this time, a dozen or so masked ninjas without a forehead protector suddenly appeared and surrounded Kushina. I didn't expect, since there are still fish that slip through the net, a ninja looked at Kushina and said coldly. Kill, money. Konoha's people will be here soon. Another ninja said. If that's the case, then hurry up. We haven't found what we want, another person said. Immediately afterwards, a ninja held the kunai and approached Kushina. You fools, stop, Kushina, run. Seeing this scene, Yi Ming clenched his fists and launched an attack towards a ninja. However, as expected, his entire body passed through the ninja's body. You don't come here. Little lowly Kushina watched the ninja approach her with a kunai, and kept retreating in fear. However, the ninja did not soften his heart just because Kushina was a 4 or 5-year-old girl. He directly lifted the kunai and stabbed Kushina directly. Kushina. Yi Ming's anger reached the extreme, even though he knew it was just Kushina's memory, but seeing Kushina's helpless and desperate eyes, his heart was bleeding. Just when the little lowly Kushina was desperate, a beautiful figure fell from the sky and directly stepped on the ninja who wanted to attack Kushina to the ground. Yi Ming, who was in anger, suddenly smiled when he saw Tsunade, who appeared suddenly. At this time, Tsunade was only 17 or 18 years old, and she was still a girl who had a little bump at the airport. However, Tsunade was Tsunade, even if it was still an airport Tsunade, it was very awesome, and the pair of strange force fists was quite powerful. Of the dozen or so ninjas who surrounded little lowly Kushina, 11 were genin, 3 or 4 chunin, and 1 jonin, but that's how they were configured, stunned that Tsunade turned a human brain into a pig brain. In a short period of time, except for the 1 jonin, all the other ninjas were killed. And the 1 jonin, who was also driven over by the Senju tribe, was beaten to death together. Or only the Senju clan going to the rescue. Yi Ming followed the little lowly Kushina, Tsunade and others to look for Kushina's grandfather in Woyan village. After so long, he only saw the Senju family with the Senju family, but he did not see the other Konoha shinobi by. Needless to say, based on the news Yi Ming saw, combined with the original work he read in his previous life, the Uzumaki clan exterminated their clan, and if there is no shadow of Sarutobi Hiruzen in this, a dog would not believe it. Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo. Yi Ming squinted his eyes slightly, and was thinking about killing these 2 goods. It should be served directly with Konoha F4, otherwise, wouldn't this wooden Yi-Tien group be separated from yin and yang? Kill it directly. Yi Ming analyzed the gains and losses of killing F4. Forget it. Just wait, the Konoha is in ruins now, and everything has to be restarted. Let Sarutobi Hiruzen help me rebuild Konoha before killing them. Yi Ming gave up his plan to kill the Sarutobi Hiruzen Wood Yi-Tien group after he rescued Kushina. After all, what he wants is a complete Konoha, not a ruined Konoha. Just let these rubbish live a little longer. Moreover, the plan in the Land of Rain can also be started. Just when Yi Ming was thinking about things, Tsunade, little lowly Kushina and others found the dying patriarch of the Uzumaki clan, that is, Kushina's grandfather, in the secret room of the Uzumaki clan. In the next episode, needless to say, Tsunade returned to Konoha with Kushina, lived with the Senju clan, and was chosen as the next generation of Jinchuriki. My name is Uzumaki Kushina. The scene changed. Kushina, who had just arrived at Konoha, and experienced the hardship of genocide at the same time, was a little afraid of the unfamiliar Konoha in her heart. At this moment, she was standing in the classroom of the ninja school, looking at the children who were not much different from him in front of her, and all looked at her. She lowered her head slightly, but she still gave a brief self-introduction. Yi Ming looked at the familiar scene with a complicated expression on his face, especially when he saw a boy in a corner of the classroom with a hand on his chin, who didn't care what he looked like. The sight is more complicated. The boy who had just acquired the chakra practice method was hit. At that time, after knowing that he might only be a passerby, he felt very depressed. Even if he knew the plot characters of Hokage, he also knew that Kushina was the future Jinchuriki, the mother of the Son of Destiny. He didn't even have the slightest idea of setting up a relationship, because he knew at that time that, as the next Jinchuriki, if he approached with a mediocre person, he probably wouldn't know how to die. So, at that time, he was just a bystander, watching the first conversation between Kushina and Nagato, and he didn't even think about cutting off the bullshit. If I hadn't gone out that day, maybe Kushina would have fallen in love with Namikaze Minato like the original. Yi Ming looked at Kushina in front of him, and after being pointed at her and scolded her for having tomato hair, Yi Ming angrily beat the child, with a wry smile on his face. Because, the next scene is the node where he and Kushina are together. I saw the gate of the ninja school at this time, and adults came to the gate to pick up their children and returned home happily. As for the BBED Kushina behind a big tree, looking at the scene at the school gate, his eyes were moist, thinking of his own family and relatives. When all the children were gone, Kushina sat in the grass, put her hands on her knees, buried her face between her knees and wept softly. At this moment, little Yi Ming, who was also fatherless and motherless, walked out of the school with his hands in his pockets. Hearing the low voice of weeping in the grass, he couldn't help but walk over. When little Yi Ming saw that it was Kushina, he was obviously hesitant to think about whether to approach her. At this moment, Kushina, whose face was buried in his knees, also noticed someone approaching, and raised his head tearfully. After seeing Yi Ming, he wiped the tears from his face with his hands, and clenched his fists with red hair flying. Said to little Yi Ming, "What are you looking at? Haven't seen a girl cry. I'll beat you up again." Little Yi Ming looked in front of him, with the red hair fluttering like an octopus, and the tearful eyes. Kushina, who was fierce with milk, was a little dazed for a while, and then he laughed outright. "What are you laughing at? Laugh again and beat you." Kushina saw Xiao Yi Ming laughing suddenly, thinking that she was laughing at her, and glared at Xiao Yi Ming more fiercely and roared. "Hee hee, you look so cute." Little Yi Ming looked at Kushina's appearance and said directly without going through his brain. "But, cute?" Little Kushina was obviously taken aback when she heard the words, then lowered her head a little shyly, and asked in a low voice, Don't you think, my hair is weird? Strange. Why is it strange?" Little Yi Ming looked at Kushina, who was just a little pepper, and now he has this shy look. He has a little interest in her. He took a few steps forward and came to Kushina. While staring blankly, she reached out and grabbed a strand of her red hair. Red represents enthusiasm and liveliness. "I like this color very much. Well, to be precise, I like all other colors except green." Little Kushina was completely stunned at this time, so that she only heard the sentence that she liked red, and she filtered out all the rest. "Okay, it's getting late. If you don't dislike it, I'll invite you to eat fish." "Don't dislike it, you said. You want to invite me to eat fish. Okay, that's it." This scene is the scene of Yi Ming meeting Kushina. In the days to come, Yi Ming, who originally planned to stay away from Kushina, no longer cared so much. Since then, Kushina has been relying on him, and he will come to him when he has something to do. At this time, Yi Ming regained his composure and began to practice his physical skills desperately, trying to find a way to get close to Might Dai and learn 8 inner gates. In his words at the time, even if it was only a short-lived promise of youth, at least he would let it go. Scenes of the past with Kushina flew past Yi Ming's eyes. And his relationship with Kushina is also growing day by day. Until one evening, when she was hopping back home, preparing to prepare dinner for Yi Ming, who was practicing her physical skills, and Kushina, who was preparing dinner, her eyes suddenly turned dark. When she opened her eyes again, she found that she had been kidnapped. She was tied up against her shoulders, and was running. At that time Kushina was desperate and scared. She didn't dare to make a sound. She tore off her red hair and threw it on the ground, hoping that someone would come to save her. At the same time, Yi Ming's figure appeared in her mind. At that time, she really hoped that Yi Ming would appear. However, after she saw that there were 3 other people besides the ninja resisting her, she didn't want Yi Ming to know that she was kidnapped. She didn't want Yi Ming to come looking for her, because she knew that Yi Ming chakra was rare and could only practice body arts. If he found her, Yi Ming might die. Yeah, when Kushina thought that she would never be able to see Yi Ming again, she felt very sad and despaired for the future. However, just when she was desperate and scared, someone she didn't want to appeared. Moreover, she found that Yi Ming was not as weak as she imagined. He saw that Yi Ming defeated 1 Chunin and 3 Genin with only physical skills, which shocked Kushina and filled his heart with joy. She will never forget the scene where she was carrying her back to the village in embarrassment after she was rescued by Yi Ming. That night, the sky was very dark, but there was an extra light in her heart. Yi Ming looked at Kushina's memory with a complicated expression on his face. After he finished practicing that night, he never saw Kushina come to him. When I went to find her, I saw Kushina's hair. At that time, he knew that Namikaze Minato and Kushina's dependent origination and cessation would start from here. At that time, he was actually very tangled. He was tangled whether he should save Kushina. Because, he can guess, this may be the high-level Konoha who deliberately let Cloud Shinobi kidnap Kushina. Otherwise, Kushina, as the next 9 Tails Jinchuriki, can be taken away so easily. And Konoha's high-level purpose, he is very clear, is nothing more than wanting to better control Jinchuriki. Therefore, the genius boy who was brainwashed by Konoha became a chess piece for the high-ranking Konoha. Oh no, Sarutobi Hiruzen used to better control the Jinchuriki, or even the more stubborn pawn of the Hokage power. Yi Ming, who knew the inside story, was very entangled. If he went to save him, he would definitely enter Sarutobi Hiruzen's field of vision. But if it doesn't help, in the end, needless to say, he went anyway. And the consequences were not what Yi Ming expected. Before he graduated, he was placed on the front line of the Kingdom of Rain. Boom. The pictures Yi Ming saw disappeared when they got here, and then Yi Ming came to a white space. This is Kushina's Sea of Consciousness. Looking at the disappearing picture and the surrounding white space, Yi Ming knew that he had come to Kushina's Minister of Consciousness. Woo! And at this moment, a low voice of crying entered Yi Ming's ears. Is it Kushina? Yi Ming was shocked when he heard the sound, and then he ran away in the direction from which the sound came. Yi Ming didn't know how long he had been running in this white space. When a figure hugging his knees and crying with his head down appeared in front of him, Yi Ming's eyes were a little wet. How similar is this scene to the time when I met her in the first place? Kushina! Yi Ming shouted loudly while running towards Kushina. And Kushina, who was sitting alone in this white space and weeping in a low voice, heard Yi Ming's voice and stopped crying immediately and raised her head in surprise. When she saw Yi Ming rushing towards her, she was stunned for a while, because Yi Ming had changed a bit, and the image of Yi Ming in her impression made her not recognize it for a while. However, in just a moment, she stood up abruptly and ran towards Yi Ming as well. Yi Ming, big brother. There were tears in Kushina's eyes, but a smile gradually appeared on her face. Flutter. Kushina plunged into Yi Ming's arms, and said with joy and sadness, Yi Ming, big brother, I'm so scared. Where is this place? There's no one around. I've been looking for an exit. Looking, but can't find it. I thought I would never see you again. Ooh, Kushina said, and began to cry again. This is the space of your consciousness. You fell into the depths of the sea of consciousness after you fell into the illusion of others. Yi Ming stroked Kushina's red hair with some distress, and at the same time, he was also scolding Uchiha Madara. Unexpectedly, since Uchiha Madara's illusion is so powerful, it is no wonder that Black Run to Obito, I am Obito, can control Mizukage, who is Three Tails Jinchuriki. This kind of illusion that sends a person into the depths of the sea of consciousness is really scary. With this kind of illusion, it is almost impossible for a practitioner to get out of trouble by himself, because the consciousness in the technique is trapped in his own sea of consciousness. How can he escape by himself? That fool did it. By the way, that black-robed fool has Sharingan. I saw it. Did the fools of the Uchiha clan use illusions on me? Red Pepper, as expected of a pepper, she still looked like a pitiful little girl. After listening to Yi Ming's words, she suddenly left Yi Ming's arms, her red hair flew like an octopus, and she stuck her hand in one hand. Waist, clenched fist in one hand and cursed angrily. Seeing the little pepper Yi Ming who was full of blood and resurrected, Yi Ming suddenly smiled. This is his Kushina. You, what are you laughing at? No laughing. Angrily Kushina suddenly saw Yi Ming staring at her and laughing, her face flushed, and then, with a small face, she glared at Yi Ming and shouted. Yi Ming looked at Kushina, who was staring at him with a ruthless look, and suddenly felt a little dazed. This scene is so familiar. Hey, what are you doing? Why are you in a daze again? Are you uncomfortable? Kushina looked at Yi Ming who was suddenly in a daze, and became a little worried again. Yi Ming regained his senses, looked at Kushina who was worried about him, suddenly stepped forward, hugged her under Kushina's incredible gaze, and then put his mouth up. Well, Kushina, who was suddenly attacked, struggled at first, and finally closed her eyes. Hug Yi Ming. In minutes, Kushina quietly leaned against Yi Ming's arms and said, actually, it's good to stay here all the time, as long as you are with me, even if I'm isolated from the world, I'm willing. Yi Ming touched her head and said with a smile, yo, my little chili has become artistic. Humph, who is yours? Kushina said proudly in Yi Ming's arms. Yi Ming smiled dotingly, and then said, okay, we should go back too. Kushina nodded. Putting his hand on Ninetail's head, Yi Ming, who closed his eyes tightly, suddenly opened his eyes. Immediately, he licked his lips, and a smile appeared on his face. Is this a soul contact? Saying that, Yi Ming jumped off Ninetails' head, stared at Ninetails and said, "Ninetails, I believe you know his existence, right? Little devil, what do you want to say to this uncle?" Ninetails, who was still lying on the ground, stared at his huge eyes and said, "How could it not know who the person who just controlled it was? Those evil eyes and that familiar chakra will never be forgotten in a lifetime. That guy is planning a plan." Yi Ming stared at Ninetails and said, "This plan is about the life and death of your tailed beasts." Hearing this, Ninetails immediately widened his eyes, stared at Yi Ming and asked, 23, what does he want to do? 10 tails, Yi Ming simply replied 2 words. Hearing this, Ninetails was shocked. Then, he asked Yi Ming, "Who are you? How do you know about 10 tails?" "It doesn't matter who I am," Yi Ming said calmly. "I tell you this, I just want you to be honest, because we have a common enemy. I don't want you to die. If you die, Kushina can't live, do you understand?" After Ninetails heard it, he was silent for a moment, and then, the huge body turned into red chakras, and it seemed that Ping was about to collapse. Seeing this, Yi Ming knew that it was because Kushina had regained consciousness and was sealing Ninetails. After all, Kushina was once the princess of the Uzumaki clan, and her seal, at this time, was definitely the most grand master. As long as she regained consciousness, Ninetails couldn't find any waves at all. Just when Ninetails was about to be resealed, it looked at Yi Ming again and said, "Little devil, let's have a good talk when we have time." Crash. As soon as Ninetails' voice fell, its huge body suddenly collapsed, turning into a little red chakra, shrinking, and entering Kushina's body. At this moment, Kushina's figure appeared in Yi Ming's eyes. Yi Ming took a few steps forward and hugged the princess directly, picking up the weak Kushina. And Kushina just shyly buried her head on Yi Ming's chest. The reason why she was shy was because Yi Ming's upper body clothes had been smashed in the battle just now. "Go, we're going home." Yi Ming looked at Kushina, who was shy in his arms, with a smile on his face. Holding her, he walked directly towards Konoha. In a moment, "This Konoha?" The weak Kushina, hugged by Yi Ming, looked at the ruined Konoha in front of him with a face full of disbelief. "Yeah, that black-robed mysterious man cast an illusion on you and controlled Ninetails to attack Konoha," Yi Ming said with an ugly expression. Originally, according to his plan, when he came back this time, he wanted to carry the reputation of defeating Sand Shinobi and force Sarutobi Hiruzen out of power. However, human beings are not as good as heaven. Before he started, Konoha was almost destroyed. He didn't want to take over a Konoha that existed in name only. This is all. I did it. I destroyed Konoha." Kushina's voice trembled as she looked at the ruins in front of her. "Kushina, you don't have to blame yourself. It's none of your business. You've fallen into an illusion, and if you want to blame it, you should blame the man in black robe." Yi Ming looked at Kushina and said distressedly. However, Kushina didn't seem to hear Yi Ming's words, she just stared blankly at Konoha in front of her. Yi Ming sighed, and couldn't say anything more, because there were still things to be resolved. Yi Ming, Kushina. At this moment, Tsunade rushed towards them, and behind her, followed by 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, Utatane Kaharu, Mitokado Homura, the Woodyi group, and more than 1,000 Konoha shinobi. "Tsunade." Yi Ming nodded to Tsunade, as a greeting, and then looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others. Cough. Sarutobi Hiruzen coughed, and then, with a harmonious smile on his face, said, "Yi Ming, it's really thanks to you that you came back in a hurry this time. Sir Hokage is very polite. After all, I am also a member of Konoha, am I not?" Yi Ming said calmly when facing Sarutobi Hiruzen's words. Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't show any ugly expression towards Yi Ming's attitude. Instead, looking at Yi Ming's arms, Kushina asked in a trance, "Kushina, how are you? Are you okay?" Kushina didn't respond, didn't reply Sarutobi Hiruzen's words, just held Yi Ming's hand and tightened it. "Kushina is fine, just a little weak and she will be fine after resting." "Thank you Lord Hokage for your concern," Yi Ming replied indifferently. "That's good." Sarutobi Hiruzen gave a look that it's okay to be fine. Tsunade looked at his teacher indifferently and didn't say a word. Sarutobi Hiruzen also wanted to say something to Yi Ming, he intends to abdicate and win over Yi Ming's words. At this time, the little master of death is online. Yi Ming, the little expert, Konoha Pot King, Comrade Shimura Danzo, stepped forward and looked at Yiming and Kushina with a majestic look. This time in the Nine Tails incident, although someone attacked Kushina, however, it is undeniable that as Kushina of Nine Tails Jinchuriki, he also has an inescapable responsibility. Therefore, as a senior executive of Konoha, he is also responsible for Konoha. Kushina must come with us. Danzo's voice was so loud that almost everyone present could hear him clearly. After listening to Danzo's words, all the more than 1,000 Konoha shinobi people present knew Kushina's identity. Almost instantly, the ninjas present were frying, and all of them looked at Kushina with malice in their eyes. Is she, that monster? Lord Yiming, why would you want to hold this monster and kill her directly? Her name is Uzumaki Kushina. She was not originally from our village, it turned out that she was a monster, she came to destroy our Konoha. Woo, my parents, as well as my lover, all died at the hands of that monster, killed her, for our revenge. Yes, kill her to avenge the dead. Kill her. For a time, more than half of the ninjas looked at Kushina with hatred and shouted loudly. One by one seems to want to eat raw Kushina. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.